96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you on this wonderful Red Friday. We have so much to get into. We are going to cover this game from start to finish. We'll talk a little bit of college football. We'll talk a little bit about the fight today between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Rob is calling this a fixed fight. He says that this is WWE and he wants absolutely nothing to do with it, but we will talk about it for just a bit. Let me give you guys the rundown before we dive headfirst into this game. Nick Costos from You Better You Bet is going to be on the show coming up in about 15 minutes. We'll take the gambling perspective of things. Steve Tasker is going to be on the show. He is one of the greatest Bills in the history of their organization. He is essentially their Dana Hughes on the Chiefs radio network. Excuse me. We have Steve Tasker on the show coming up in the 3 o'clock hour. Trent McDuffie is going to be on the show today. You guys know our rules. If you are not named Patrick Mahomes, we do not ask football players football questions. So Trent McDuffie is going to be on the show. We're also going to have Nate Taylor on the show today as well. So we got a lot of football to get into. We got a lot of fun to get into in today's show. We are really excited for Sunday's game against the Buffalo Bills. If you missed the stat, this is the most important game or the biggest NFL regular season game since Chiefs and Rams, if you were taking into account both teams' records. So we are talking about, in my opinion, two of the best three teams in the National Football League. I would put it Kansas City 1, Detroit 2, and Buffalo 3. And two of those teams are meeting in Sunday in Buffalo. So really excited for this matchup. Happy that you guys are here. We're going to get to the game coming up momentarily. But before we do that, let's give you a chance to win a pizza.
Pizza time on the drive. Carrington, dial me up right now. Call number 6, 913-586-7965. Call number 6 wins a pizza from our friends over at Pizza Tassio. Pizza Tassio is Kansas City's best New York-style pizza, and they have taken over the town. They lovingly use 100% whole milk mozzarella, all organic tomato sauce with locally grown fresh ingredients, all made by KC guys who both know and love pizza. They also have a killer selection of craft and local beers, plus unique wine. So whether you're having some sort of fixed fight watch party or just want a slice or two, be sure to visit them now. PizzaTassio.com. That's pizza, TASCIO.com.
I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to the drive each day right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend. It'd be great if you tell two friends, but I need you to tell one friend about some of the best pizza in Kansas City and your favorite sports talk show. This is where I would like to begin today's show, and I was thinking more about this as we had a segment yesterday that was around a lot of the memories and moments that we've seen in this matchup between these two teams. You had mistakes like what happened last year with Kadarius Toney.
Selling out, flag on the play, might be a free one. They've got Kelsey at the 30, Kelsey 25, angling back, 20, now he's going to lateral it back at the 15-yard line. It's Toney, 10, 5, touchdown, Kansas City. They mess around in practice with this all the time. It's going to go with a 49-yard touchdown. Kelsey, the old University of Cincinnati quarterback.
Number 19, offense, lined up in the neutral zone, 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So whether it was the last regular season game between these two teams where Kadarius Toney was offside, took a touchdown off the board, and the Chiefs lose the game as a result of that penalty, or it was the missed field goal last year that stopped this game from being tied. Kansas City wins 27-24, and they run out the clock.
1:47 to go in the game on 4th down and 9 for Buffalo. Placement down, Bass's kick is up, and the kick is no good! A little prophecy! Tyler Bass has struggled, and he just misses the kick.
Kansas City will next snap with a 34-yard.
And the Chiefs will take over at the point of the missed kick. Their own 34-yard line as Tyler Bass misses this wide to the right.
So the last time that these two teams played each other, the critical mistake was a drop from Stephon Diggs late in that game, also a missed field goal from Tyler Bass, the last one here. And this is one of the greatest moments in the history of Arrowhead Stadium. It was the touchdown for the Chiefs to advance to yet another AFC Championship game as they were down with 13 seconds left on the clock and came back to tie it up.
36-36 tie in overtime. Chiefs first down and goal to go. Mahomes looks to throw it. Pump faking right side. He wants it. A comeback cut. It is caught by Kelsey. Touchdown, Kansas City. One of the greatest duos in the history of the National Football League. Patrick Mahomes to Travis Kelsey on a push fade comeback. And the Chiefs have won this incredible divisional playoff game in overtime.
Rob and I looked this up as we were getting ready for the show today. In the last 4 matchups between these two teams, Kansas City has scored 106 points. Buffalo has scored 104 points. In the games between these two teams, they have been fairly close of late. But what has separated each team and what has been why each team has lost is each team has made a very critical mistake late in this game, and that has defined who won or lost. I tell you guys this all the time, but we spend a lot of time in football games talking about this thing and this thing when you really boil it down, football games are usually decided by 5 to 8 plays. I would say in the matchups between these two teams, they've usually been decided by 2 or 3 plays. My biggest point about this game is who is going to eliminate the mistake. I believe that this game is going to be close. That's all the Chiefs know how to do is play close games. I don't think that Buffalo is going to run away from Kansas City. I also don't think that Kansas City is going to go on the road and run away from the Buffalo Bills. These are two very talented, very similar, very equally matched teams that are going to be playing each other on Sunday. Who avoids the critical mistake? Who avoids the mental error like we saw with Kadarius Toney? Who avoids the physical error like a missed kick or an interception or a tip pass or something that tilts the favor in your opposition? That has defined this game of late. Who is going to play crisp football? You don't need to necessarily play perfect football. The Chiefs were not perfect in the last game against these two teams. McCole Hardman had a fumble as he was heading into the end zone that took points off the board. You are not expected to be perfect in this game. But late in this game, with 8 minutes to go, I assure you, this game is going to be a one-possession game on either side, and it is either going to be Patrick Mahomes making 1 or 2 plays more than the Buffalo Bills, or it's going to be a mistake that ends up determining who wins this game. I want to give you guys a couple of stats before we're joined by Nick Costos, and we're going to bounce back and forth between having guests and giving you guys our thoughts and opinions on the game. Patrick Mahomes is quite possibly the greatest underdog quarterback in the history of the National Football League. There has not been many times in which going into the game, people thought that Patrick Mahomes was the underdog. In fact, this will be the 15th time in his career that the other team is favored to win. The Chiefs are 11-3 in those games. There are some spots that we kind of know with Kansas City. The last couple of weeks, they've been somewhat big favorites in those games, and they have been tight, closely contested games. I would usually stay away from Kansas City if they're a 7.5, 8.5 point favorite. That's not usually where they thrive in this sense. But you're telling me that in a 1-game sample size, it is just simply, do you think the Chiefs will win? Well, I'm going to take the quarterback who has an 80% winning percentage. I'm going to take the team with the better quarterback. I'm going to take the team with the better coach. I'm also going to take the team with the better defense. If you were giving me this, the right side to be on in this game, the correct play to be on is to take the Chiefs either plus the 2.5 if you're the gambling type, or simply take the Chiefs on the money line that the Chiefs will just win this game. I got a lot of respect for Buffalo. I think Buffalo is a very good team. I think Buffalo is a Super Bowl caliber team. And I understand that what we are talking about is the regular season, and it's very different than the postseason. The postseason, Buffalo has come up very short. But in the regular season, they've actually been pretty good against Kansas City. They've won 3 of the last 4 regular season matchups against this team. These teams, to me, I would say right now, their strengths are very similar. Also, their weaknesses are very similar. And that's why I'm looking to see who's going to play the cleaner game and who's going to avoid the mistake and whose defense is going to be able to get you off the field in a critical juncture. There's going to be a 3rd and 5, a 3rd and 6, where you are going to need your defense to get you off the field and give your offense a chance. The Chiefs' defense has come up pretty big in those spots almost every single time they have been asked this season, and this could quite possibly be their biggest test. I think that Josh Allen's the 2nd best quarterback in the National Football Football League. This is an offense in Buffalo that has a lot of weapons. They're getting Amari Cooper back. You've got a capable run game. They're versatile in their ability to throw and run the ball. This is a very, very strong test for Kansas City. In my opinion, this is their strongest test of the entire regular season. Coming up on the other side, we'll be joined by Nick Costos with You Better You Bet. We'll take a look at the gambling perspective of this game as we continue to break it down and get you ready for the biggest regular season game for the Chiefs in quite some time as they travel to Buffalo. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
And Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs. Everyone develops cataracts naturally as they get older. When your vision is affected by cataracts, you should see my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein at Silverstein Eye Centers. Dr. Silverstein is a world-renowned cataract surgeon who performs life-changing laser-assisted cataract surgery with premium lens implants to correct your vision up close and far away. Trust my eye doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein, Silverstein Eye Centers, 816-358-3600 to schedule an appointment.
Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City, now open. Dine on mouth-watering appetizers, then feast to one of our 6 American Wagyu burgers, including the Bacon Jam Burger and Blazing Burger. Wash it down with your favorite ice-cold beverage, all while watching the game on one of our 45 TVs. Dine in or carry out. Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City always hits the spot. Brew Brothers and Brew Brothers Express are now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-BETS-OFF.
Men, it's the holidays, a time of love and joy. But if you suffer from erectile dysfunction, the season can be tough on you. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you and your partner are experiencing struggles because of ED, change it up this year. Give the best gift you can give to the one you love by treating your ED and restoring your relationship. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts at treating ED. And as a Promenic restorative health practice, we've literally seen countless thousands of relationships renewed across the nation. Plus, with treatments having success rates well over 90%, coupled with many treatment options, we can likely find the right one for you. You may even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us and give your partner the best gift you can give this season. A renewed, restored relationship. Your first visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in our office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Your coworkers might annoy you, but we promise we won't. Download the free Odyssey app and you can listen to us at work while you tackle your inbox or get ready for another meeting that probably could have been an email. Tune in late? You can rewind your favorite live shows to catch what you missed. And with Chapters, easily jump to the topics that you care about most, like the latest updates from your team. Your sports talk, your way. The Odyssey app. Download it today.
This holiday at T-Mobile, I'm joined by a special co-anchor.
What up, everybody? It's your boy, Big Snoop D-O-double-G.
Snoop, let's talk about T-Mobile.
Okay, cool.
This holiday, get 4 lines for $25 a line, plus 4 iPhone 16s with Apple Intelligence and the all-new camera control on us.
Let's get cracking, like a breakfast egg.
You can use those eggs to make some eggnog, Snoop.
Respect.
And people do love T-Mobile, where you can save on every plan versus the other big guys.
You know, y'all could take some of those savings and buy some Snoop merchandise.
Always a great stocking stuffer, Snoop.
We up out of here.
Hold your horses, Snoop D-O-double-G. Let's remind people one more time.
Head to T-Mobile.com and get 4 iPhone 16s with Apple Intelligence on us, plus 4 lines for $25. Now drop that jangle.
With 24 monthly bill credits, 4 eligible trade-ins, and 4 new lines with autopay. Well-qualified customers plus taxes and fees and $35 per line connection charge. Cancel entire account before receiving 24 bill credits and credit stop and balance on required finance agreements due. $829.99 credits end if you pay off device early. See how you can save on wireless and streaming versus the other big guys at T-Mobile.com/switch. Apple Intelligence available now.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a Colonial with high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a peaceful neighborhood. And you found it. Now, every Saturday at 6 a.m., you get to wake to the sound of your neighbor's leaf blower. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Chiefs fans, it's Hollywood Brown. Welcome to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Coming up in just a bit, we'll talk about who the potential X factor could be in this game. In the 3 o'clock hour, we're going to have Steve Tasker on the show. He's in the Bills Hall of Fame. He is also on the Bills Radio Network. We also are going to have Trent McDuffie. We're also going to be joined by Nate Taylor. He will be on the show in the 4 o'clock hour. I want to try to cover this game from every single perspective. Let's head to the phone lines right now to get you the gambling perspective on things. I know that some of you like to wager on these games, or maybe you live in Missouri and drive over to the other side and you like to place a friendly wager on what the outcome is going to be on Sunday. Let's get you the latest with our guy, Nick Costos. He is the host of the most popular gambling podcast out there, You Better You Bet. Nick, man, happy to have you join us on the show today. What side are you taking in Sunday's matchup?
So I will endear myself to your audience by saying I do like the Kansas City Chiefs in the game. So I have bet Kansas City to win, Kansas City plus the points. You could tease Kansas City up, and we can talk about maybe some legs to tease the Chiefs with, up to +8 or +8.5, where I do feel like one way or another the game is going to be close. I will say, though, Carrington, there is something that happened earlier this week that makes me a little nervous about this bet, and that's Harrison Butker being placed on IR by the Chiefs, right? Because people could say whatever they want about Butker, like off the field, on the field. This is one of the best and most clutch kickers in the history of the NFL. And now the Chiefs go from Harrison Butker, who, in a big spot, you always feel good that he's going to drill the kick. Now here's like former Jets practice squatter, curtain jerking jabroni, Spencer Schrader, kicking for the Chiefs. Like, it's not the same thing, right? Where if you need Butker to win the game, tie the game, and send it to overtime, like, you feel good about Butker making that kick. Like, Chiefs fans, and I'm not saying Schrader can't make the kick, but are you going to feel as good about it as you would with Harrison Butker? So that is something to consider with Chiefs bets here. But ultimately, I know the Bills have won the last 3 regular season meetings against the Chiefs. I don't care. Mahomes, as an underdog, he is the best underdog quarterback in the history of the NFL with a bullet. I will gladly bet the Chiefs at plus money just to win the game, Carrington, outright this Sunday in Buffalo.
Nick, we haven't talked about the total yet. Right now on FanDuel, the total for this game is at 46.5. Are you taking the over or the under in Chiefs-Bills?
I think this is it's not a bet for me. And if I had to bet it, like gave me $100, made me bet it, I would bet the under in the game. Because we know what Buffalo's going to do. It's the Sean McDermott defense. They will allow you to run the football in lieu of letting you kind of throw the ball and beat them deep. Not that Kansas City's built to do that right now with its personnel on offense. And Xavier Worthy has not had the connection going with Mahomes, right? So I think Buffalo is going to play back in the secondary, and they're going to make Kansas City dink and dunk and make Kansas City run the football. And then on the flip side, I mean, the Chiefs defense is obviously absolutely unbelievable. Buffalo will not only be down Dalton Kincaid in this game, but also like stud second-round rookie receiver Keon Coleman, who's really started to come on. Now, Amari Cooper is going to play for the Bills, but he has not really done much since he was traded from Cleveland to Buffalo. So I do think this is a lower-scoring game. I'm thinking somewhere in the range of 23-20, 24-21 Chiefs, which would be under the total then of 46.5.
Nick, give me a couple of anytime touchdown bets that you like, and is there a first touchdown bet? I think a lot of people are like me. I like to place a first touchdown bet. It kind of feels like a parlay to me that you can bet a little bit of money, and if you hit and if you get it right, you can put 10 on Travis Kelce and then turn that 10 into $105.
So do you are you okay if I give you a Bills first touchdown?
Of course.
Instead?
Either one.
Okay. So the guy that I would look at for Buffalo, and I would say, like, get the best price on this, would be Dalton Kincaid, Buffalo's starting tight end, was ruled out today. So Kincaid is not going to – anyone got him in fantasy football? Like, get him out of your lineup. He's not playing on Sunday. So Dawson Knox will be Buffalo's starting tight end. And, like, the Knox has been, like, the starting tight end for a lot of Josh Allen's tenure. But since they drafted Kincaid in the first round last year, Kincaid has been the number one. We have seen the Chiefs. The Chiefs' defense is awesome, right? But we have seen the Chiefs' defense get tagged by opposing tight ends throughout the season. They have given up the most receiving yards to tight ends of any team this season in the NFL. Now, it obviously has not burned them in terms of wins and losses, but that's not what we're talking about here, right? We're talking about, touchdown bets or yardage props. So Dawson Knox's yardage prop, the first digit is a 2. That's wrong. I like Dawson Knox to go over his receiving yards prop.
I'm sure a lot of people listening right now love some player props. You mentioned targeting Dawson Knox as a possible player prop in this game. Give us a couple player props that you like on Sunday.
This is like not just with the Chiefs and the Bills.
No, yeah. Just Chiefs and Bills. Give us a couple of Chiefs and Bills player props that you like.
All right, so I think there's a couple interesting ones, right? And we kind of conceptualize like how we think this game's going to play out. The Mahomes-DeAndre Hopkins connection is obviously burgeoning, right? And I think that's something that if you as a bettor, you as a fantasy player, like I have Hopkins in a couple fantasy leagues, my thought is going to be that as the season goes on, like this connection only gets stronger between Mahomes and DeAndre Hopkins. Like Hopkins is like a borderline Hall of Fame player. Big players generally show up to big games. Hopkins' receiving yards prop in this game is sitting at 49.5. I love the over on DeAndre Hopkins over receiving yards. Xavier Worthy's receiving yards prop has dropped to an insane, like it is low. 22.5 for Xavier Worthy. But it's like if they don't connect on the big play, and like they haven't been able to connect on the big play like a couple times this season, but more often than not, like Worthy makes a bad play or Mahomes overthrows him like he did last week in the Denver game, right? Like they overthrew him down the sideline. And the Chiefs ultimately settles for a field goal later in the game to go up 16-14. Like I don't know if I trust Xavier Worthy. So for Chiefs pass catchers, the guy that I would look at would be DeAndre Hopkins in terms of going over his receiving yards prop. And then just another thought on anytime touchdowns. I think with Juju Smith-Schuster set to play this weekend, and we think he's playing, right? Juju's going to play this weekend for the Chiefs after he missed a couple weeks. So now we have something interesting here, right, where Hopkins, Kelsey, and Hunt will be like the guys that touch the ball the most, besides for Mahomes, obviously. The guys that touch the ball the most, that get the football the most, which leaves you with Worthy, Hardman, Justin Watson, Juju, and even Noah Gray as other ancillary targets that could potentially get the football from Patrick Mahomes. So if you're looking to bet anytime touchdowns, I would look at like the guy that's at the longest odds in that list that I just gave you.
That is my guy, Nick Costos, joining us on the show today. He is the host of the most popular gambling podcast that's out there, You Better You Bet. He does fantastic work with BetQL. Nick, great stuff, man. We appreciate your help getting us ready for this massive showdown between the Chiefs and the Bills, man. I appreciate you.
You got it, buddy. Wishing you and all the listeners minimal sweats, winning bets, the absolute very best of luck, and let's go Chiefs.
That is my guy, Nick Costos, here to give you the gambling perspective of the game. Coming up in just a bit, we'll give you our parlay for the weekend. We did poorly last week when Rob wasn't here. We'll try to get back on the winning side of things this week. We'll also talk a little bit about the fight coming up later today on Netflix in about 5 to 10 minutes or so. I do want to get you guys' thoughts on this, 913-586-7965. A storyline that not many of us were expecting is the loss of Harrison Butker. Now, in hindsight, we probably should have saw this coming. You remember the last kick from Harrison Butker was the kickoff, and it landed outside the landing zone, and it was kind of odd. It was, well, were you told to do this? But why would you have been told to do this? Because it's such a significant penalty to not kick the ball in the landing zone. So it was a little bit odd. It was something that they discussed over the week, but they didn't really go into too much detail. He's then popped up on the injury report, and then he had surgery yesterday. So it has been sort of a quick 72 hours. Harrison Butker is not going to play in this game. I did the math for you guys. So in the games against the Buffalo Bills, Harrison Butker is 14 of 16 on field goals. He is also 20 of 22 on extra points. So he has been incredibly reliable in these games against the Buffalo Bills. And how the Chiefs play and their strategy is different when you have Harrison Butker. When you have maybe the strongest leg in the National Football League, if you pass half field or midfield, you feel like you got a really good chance of scoring and getting points. We also know that Andy tends to be a little bit conservative in these matchups and usually tends to take the points. Well, when you have a kicker that's basically automatic, it makes a lot of sense to take the points. Rob, I would say that one question that is sort of hanging over this game and hanging over the Chiefs that I don't think any of us can give you the answer to is, what is their kicking situation going to be like without Harrison Butker? How are they going to play things without Harrison Butker? And how is it going to affect their offense and how they operate? Are they going to do something different on third down because they are looking at it as 4-down territory and they are planning to go forward on fourth down? Or is this just not going to change their strategy at all and they're going to put a lot on a kid who just doesn't have a whole lot of experience? You go from having one of the most experienced kickers in the National Football League to, I'm going to guess, probably the least experienced kicker. The guy's made 2 field goals in his career and a handful of extra points. He doesn't have a whole lot of game experience. Now, it doesn't feel like the weather is going to be a factor. Believe it's going to be 55 degrees, not going to be wet, not going to be snowy. So the ideals are going to be ideal for kicking. But what do the Chiefs do offensively on Sunday? Are they going to be aggressive? Are they going to go for it? Are they going to sort of operate business as usual and not change things because they don't have their kicker, who in the games against the Buffalo Bills has been as close to automatic that you can be?
So I don't mean to cop out of your question because I think it's a very fair one, but I don't think anyone knows the answer, and I don't think the Chiefs know the answer either, because we all remember that game in Indianapolis, the game the Chiefs blew, I believe it was 2 years ago, the Chris Jones talks to Phillip Rivers game. Remember, they had a non-Butker kicker in for that one, too. It was Matt Amendola, and he was bad. Like, he was really bad in that game. I believe he missed an extra point. He may have missed a second extra point. He missed a kick. And what we saw the Chiefs do was they got ultra aggressive. They started going for 2. They were more aggressive on fourth down. Like, Andy Reid mid-game realized, I don't have the answer at kicker, and he then pivoted to a more aggressive game plan. He did that in the moment. But as someone on Twitter pointed out to me, they also didn't have Harrison Butker for that you're messing with the wrong blanker game between Crosby and Mahomes. They had Matthew Wright at kicker. That day, Matthew Wright hit a 59-yarder, and they were regular offense, regular decision-making. Like, they came back from 17 down to win that game. It wasn't like Andy Reid was ultra-aggressive. He was just kind of regular. So, again, not to cop out, I don't know because I don't think the Chiefs know. If he misses one early or looks shaky on an extra point, I could see the Chiefs pivoting to a more aggressive game plan. But if he looks like a diet Harrison Butker, maybe can't hit the 61-yarder, but he can make it from 45 to 55, and he's putting him out of the end zone on touchbacks, and he's right down the middle on extra points, then I can see the Chiefs be like, hey, it's business as usual. But I don't know. You don't know. I don't think Dave Tobin, Andy Reid know. It's one of those things you kind of got to react when you see it. What's the Mike Tyson quote? Everyone's got a game plan until they get punched in the face. I don't think the Chiefs have a game plan for kicker. They're just waiting until they get punched in the face to find out.
Text line 913-586-7965. Harrison being out scares me a lot. The Chiefs like to keep games close, and he's needed for games like these. This is the part that would worry me. Exactly that. I don't think the Chiefs are running away from Buffalo. So this kicker is going to have, you would believe, 2 to 3 opportunities. That's why, at least in this game, you got to really finish drives. And I know we kicked last week on the road at Arizona. The game was a blowout. They only scored 6 points. This is going to be going into an incredibly hostile environment and a real pressurized situation. This could be the difference in you winning or losing. So again, I'm not here to stir up any fear-mongering here. This is just an unknown. This guy could come in here and he can be exceptional in this game, make every single kick. We worried about nothing, and you feel confident in him moving forward for the next couple of weeks. I do give the kid a lot of credit. The kid bet on himself. He could have continued to be the kicker of the Jets. He chose to come to Kansas City. You had to know the game that was coming up and the environment. This is the opportunity that the kid wants. I want to show that I'm a kicker in the NFL. So he's not just kicking for the Kansas City Chiefs. They have their kicker. He is kicking for the rest of the league. So if you go and you ball out for the next 3 to 4 weeks, whenever Harrison Butker comes back and he's healthy and the Chiefs eventually let you go, what's not to say that you get picked up by the Pittsburgh Steelers. You get picked up by Seattle. You get picked up by Green Bay or a team that's looking for a kicker. So this is a position that you usually aren't given a whole lot of opportunities. You have been given a pretty big opportunity. You are kicking in the biggest National Football League game so far this season. How do you perform? How do you handle the pressure? How do you execute? Playing well in this game changes your life if you are him, if you go and you play well over the next 2 to 3 weeks. And we obviously got to see what happens with him and how he goes out and how he performs. Let's talk about this, and we'll get to the Tyson fight here coming up in a bit. Who do you think the potential X factor could be in this game? I asked the question because the last time that these two teams played each other, I think we saw who the X factor was. It was MVS. Now, playoff MVS was a little bit different than regular season MVS. I don't know what it was. But last season, the last time that these two teams played each other, MVS was their second leading receiver. He had 2 catches for 68 yards, and he had a big pass play. He had 2 big pass plays. He had 1 catch of 32 yards and another catch of 30 yards. So 2 big plays that obviously aided in the Chiefs winning that game. Rashee Rice was not great. He had 4 catches for 47 yards, and they didn't really get anything else from any wide receiver in January when these two teams went up against each other. We know who the possible names are. Rob, who do you think the X factor could be? I'll throw in a name. They've been real close to getting the Xavier Worthy thing to work. They tried it in the Tampa Bay game. They narrowly missed. He was wide open in the Broncos game. Mahomes throws it out of bounds. You know that they're going to take at least one shot in trying to get him the football. It also really lines itself up. You can already see the CBS package and highlight montage that they've put together. Well, Buffalo had a chance to draft Xavier Worthy, but they traded him to the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's the trades that have been made between these two teams. Ha, 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 Jim, can you believe that they traded Patrick Mahomes to... You can already hear the conversation happening between Nance and Romo on Sunday when Xavier Worthy makes a play. So if you're asking me right now, who do I think is going to be an X factor? Because I'm removing Juju from this conversation, because if Juju's healthy and you're telling me that they have Kareem Hunt who's healthy, Travis Kelce who's healthy, DeAndre Hopkins, and Juju, you certainly have enough firepower going on the road to Buffalo. But you're probably going to need somebody else to make a big play. You're going to need somebody else on a jet sweep. Somebody's going to catch a screen play. Somebody's going to make a special teams play. Let me nominate Xavier Worthy as the guy who I think is going to be given the opportunity to make that play.
I'm going to pick Noah Gray. And I feel like I continue to pick Noah Gray basically week after week in these things, but the Chiefs trust him, and he seems to 2 to 3 times a game make that play. Now, maybe by X factor, I don't think we're going to on Monday be like, can you believe Noah Gray had 5 for 87 and a touchdown? I don't think that's happening. But the Chiefs win. When we're talking about the show on Monday, I think we're going to talk about multiple drives that were extended because Patrick Mahomes found Noah Gray open. Noah Gray will finish like 3 for 27, but 2 of them got a first down on a 3rd and 6, and those drives resulted in touchdowns, and that's how the Chiefs win. I think Noah Gray is an X factor in this game because the more and more you think about these Buffalo matchups of the years, Buffalo and Sean McDermott are pretty content to let you run the ball and dink and dunk. They don't really give up the big, deep home run play. Well, that kind of takes Worthy out of it for me. Dink and dunk, I imagine they're going to really hyper-focus on Kelce because they should hyper-focus on Kelce, which means in that same area, Noah Gray will be that guy. So if you're asking me for an X factor, I got Noah Gray this weekend.
I also think McCole Hardman could be a big help to this team in special teams. He's really sort of locked in on what his role is, and I give McCole a lot of credit for a guy who came in as a second-round pick. You could certainly see somebody feeling away that you have been replaced in a lot of ways. He was Xavier Worthy 4 or 5 years ago, but he's come in, and since he left for the Jets and come back, you haven't heard a peep out of McCole Hardman. He is really locked in on being the jet sweep guy, the screen guy, really locked into being a kick return and punt return specialist for this team. I could see McCole Hardman getting 4 or 5 targets, them using him in the screen game, and then potentially making a difference in that way. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll give you guys a parlay that hopefully you win with. We struggled last week when Rob was gone, but Rob is back. We're going to get our mojo back. We're going to get back on track. We're going to give you a winning parlay coming up in 10 minutes. Rob, let's talk about the fight that's coming up later tonight between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. We played this for you yesterday. Maybe you missed it, Boy, they have been selling this fight. Mike Tyson slapping Jake Paul yesterday was the best promotional tool that they needed. If I was the people running Netflix right now, if you were going on there to watch Orange is the New Black or Ozark or Love is Blind or whatever show they got, the number one thing when you turn on that app, I would show you Mike Tyson slapping Jake Paul and tell you that they are planning on fighting later today. Boy, have they been selling this fight. They even got the kids in on the promotion of this thing.
Well, in your return to the ring for this fight, you are setting a monumental opportunity for kids my age to see the legend, Mike Tyson, in the ring for the first time. So after such a successful career, what type of legacy would you like to leave behind when it's all said and done?
Well, I don't know. I don't believe in the word legacy. I just think that's another word for ego. Legacy doesn't mean nothing. That's just some word everybody grabbed onto. Someone said that word and everyone grabbed on the word, so now it's used every 5 seconds. It means absolutely nothing to me. I'm just passing through. I'm going to die, and it's going to be over. Who cares about legacy after that? What a big ego. So I'm going to die. I want people to think that I'm this, I'm great. No, we're nothing. We're just dead. We're dust. We're absolutely nothing. Our legacy is nothing.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That is something that I have not heard before, someone say that as an answer.
Can you really imagine somebody say, I want my legacy to be this way when you're dead? Why do you want somebody you think somebody really wants to think about you? What's the audacity? I think, I want people to think about me when I'm gone. Who the cares about me when I'm gone?
One of my good friends told me this, and I've tried to keep Jake Paul's fight career in this lens. For those of you that are around my age, you know what I'm talking about. You maybe loved the NBA, you loved college basketball, but you also really appreciated AND1, and you knew that the two were very different. If you want real hardcore boxing, trust me, it is out there. Tyson Fury fights in a couple of weeks. You can watch Terrence Crawford. You can watch Canelo Alvarez. You can watch Tank Davis. If you want the best boxers in the world, this fight is not for you, and that's not what Jake Paul is. You know what this is? This is WWE. This is Rocky fighting Thunder Lips at the beginning of Rocky 3. This is an exhibition. It's fun. It's entertaining. I'm not telling you to put any real money down on this fight. Why would you do this? But am I going to be sitting down in front of the television, watching on Netflix, Mike Tyson go up against Jake Paul? Absolutely. Now, let's be real here, folks. I know that you guys have it in your mind that Mike Tyson's the baddest man on the planet. I'm guessing at some point you have sat next to your friend and you guys have had a beer or been eating wings and you asked, hey, how much would it take for you to take a punch from Mike Tyson? You were thinking about Iron Mike Tyson. This is Michael Tyson. They are not the same individual. I am here to tell you that your childhood is going to be ruined later today when you see that under 30-year-old man pummel on your childhood hero is what's going to happen later today. Jake Paul is about to beat Mike Tyson's up. That's what he's about to do. He's about to beat him up. I'm telling you that's what's about to happen. So if you are watching this just hoping that Mike's got a little bit more magic in those gloves, that he can just connect with one shot, just know that Mike Tyson will usually be in bed by the time this fight's going to start. You know what's about to happen. They'll give you a little intrigue in the first 1, maybe 2 rounds. The fight will continue on. Mike will be tired, and Jake will do just enough to keep you interested and keep you on the app so you don't turn it off. I got Jake Paul by decision today. I don't think that Jake Paul's knocking him out. I don't think that Mike's knocking Jake out. I think they're going to box. I think it'll be fun. Mike will kind of do something crazy, like, ho, to get you all excited, and nothing's going to happen. If you are expecting to see Mike Tyson that was dating Robin Givens, then you need to go on YouTube and watch that fighter, because that is not the one that's going to be on Netflix later today. Coming up, Rob, let's give people a parlay and try to help them win a little bit of money. We'll also talk about Josh Allen, who is at a very interesting place in his career. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Chiefs Kingdom, Hy-Vee has red-hot news. We're doubling down. Shop Hy-Vee the day after this week's Chiefs game and earn a fuel discount that's double the Chiefs score. This Monday only, score double the savings. That's right, double the fuel savings based on the amount you spend. If the Chiefs score 28 points on Sunday, you save 56 cents a gallon with any $56 purchase. The higher the score, the more you save. Win or lose on Sunday, score double the savings on Monday only at Hy-Vee. Offer good in-store and online. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
The only thing better than Thanksgiving is letting Hy-Vee take care of all of the cooking. Hy-Vee has convenient pre-made holiday meal packs for any size gathering. They have succulent turkey, honey glazed spiral ham or prime rib. Plus, they've got all of your savory sides, rolls, and your choice of dessert. And don't forget the wine and spirits department at Hy-Vee. So pick up your meal the day before the holiday and then just heat and serve on Thanksgiving Day. This holiday season, let Hy-Vee do the cooking while you take all the credit and give thanks to my friends only at Hy-Vee.
You guys already know what my plan is tonight. I plan on watching the fight, and I plan on doing it with a great pizza from my friends over at the other place. It's Carrington here telling you to stop by the other place, your game day headquarters. All right, maybe you're not watching the fight. Maybe you're getting ready for Sunday's matchup between Kansas City and Buffalo. We'll stop in because they have incredible game day specials. They got a 14-inch two-topping pizza for $12. They got $12 for you can get 8 wings in a basket of tots. You can get a $4 beer, a $4 domestic. It's the next best thing to being at the stadium, and since Kansas City is on the road, it's the best game day atmosphere that you're going to get with amazing specials. They've been making 25 years of some of the best pizza in town, so go stop by any one of the 5 area locations. For your game day needs, be sure to stop by the other place.
I'm McCall with Lisa Mitsuber, and our hotline is open. Annie from Kansas City, what's on your mind?
I want a dealership that I can trust for a lifetime. Is that you?
We're Google's highest review rated and only locally owned Subaru retailer in Kansas City. That's a good start.
I just want a great deal. That's all.
How about 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models? That'll get you a low monthly payment. Fall in love with driving again at Lisa Mitsubaru.
Google highest review rated Subaru retailer in Kansas City based on 2023 Google Analytics.
Dick Ray, he's your heating magician. Dick Ray, he's a man on a mission. In the dead of winter when the furnace is broken and a chill is in the air, you can call Dick Ray and he'll fix it up with care. He's always there. Call Dick Ray, he's your heating magician.
Hey, it's Dick Ray. Schedule your furnace tune-up today. Only $79. Call 913-DICK-RAY.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text BODY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text BODY to 42424. That's BODY to 42424.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
This afternoon, expect sunny conditions with a high of 64.
Weather brought to you by Staples.
Your local Staples store has hot deals at super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. Save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
Patrick Mahomes joins CDOT every week during the season, right here on 96.5 The Fan.
All right, welcome back into the show. This is what I want to do. We'll talk about Josh Allen here coming up in a bit and how his career has gotten off and the start that it has. And we'll also catch up with Steve Tasker coming up in a bit. Also, Trent McDuffie. We'll do both of those things coming up in the 3 o'clock hour. We also have a Carrington hypothetical button game. We're busy here today on The Drive. All right, Rob. Let's get to our weekly parlay. Our parlay is brought to you by Twin Peaks, where you can eat, drink, and see the scenic views. Hit me, Rob. This team has been an absolute covering machine, and I know, Rob, it's going to hurt you for me to put this team in our parlay, but I have to do it. Kansas is absolutely better, no doubt about it. But we trust Kansas enough to go on the road and now win these games. You're going to give me the 7th-ranked team in the country, and you're going to give me less than 3 points? I have to take them in that scenario. This would be different if it was an Arrowhead, and I know that I doubted Kansas last week and their game against Iowa State. Kansas is now not going on the road and beating top 10 teams. I will take BYU minus 2.5. They're not even giving you a lot of juice in this. BYU on the money line is minus 130. So if you want to put BYU in your own parlay, just take them on the money line, pair with a couple of other things, and you don't even got to deal with the points. You can do that as well. I will take BYU minus the 2.5. Kansas is better. No denying that. I don't think they're good enough to win this game. If you think that, don't even take the plus 2.5. Take plus 108 and take KU. I'm on the other side. Give me BYU minus 2.5.
A reminder, when I was gone, Quentin took Iowa State, and he got burned.
He did, absolutely.
I was listening to Lawrence. People on Mass Street were clamoring with anger about Quentin. That's neither here nor there. Carrington, I'm going to take an underdog on the road. I'm going to take Arkansas against Texas this weekend plus the 12.5. Arkansas is better this year. They were an absolute rollover last year. They presided no stoppage to any good team. But they are better this year. They beat Tennessee earlier this year at home, and this is an old school. If you're, your parents or your grandparents, they remember Arkansas, Texas used to be a rivalry from way back in the day. So there's some venom in this game. I'm taking Arkansas plus the 12.5. You play that in our friends at FanDuel. It is plus 264.
All right, the next play that we want to give you guys is an NFL play. There's a couple of different directions that we can go. I like the Chiefs on the money line. If you want to throw them in there, I get it. I also like the Broncos at home minus 1.5. I think they're getting a little bit disrespected, but the line's a little too close for my blood. I will continue to ride the San Francisco 49ers. I really think that they've turned their season around. They should have covered last week, but they had the couple of missed field goals. You guys remember Deebo Samuel goes over there and basically chokes out the kicker and the long snapper. I think San Francisco takes care of business at home, minus 6.5. You're not even paying a whole lot of juice. You're getting it at minus 112. Go ahead and give me San Francisco minus 6.5 at home against Seattle. I like it.
I'm going to take the Bengals on Sunday Night Football plus the 1.5. Here's the deal. The Chargers turnaround has been very impressive. Jim Harbaugh is a fantastic coach, but that team is winning by scoring like 17 a night. They're going to win based on how Michigan football won last year. We're going to run, we're going to batter, we're going to bruise you, we're going to play good defense and walk out of there 17-14 or 20-17. And that's a fine game plan. Everything's fine and dandy when you're playing the Tennessee Titans, but this is a level up in competition for LA, and T. Higgins is back. The Bengals might have one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL. We just don't talk about the Bengals because they're 4-6 and their offense is great, their defense is worse, but they can score, and the Chargers are not a team that can score with the Bengals. So I like Joe Burrow and the boys plus 1.5 on Sunday Night Football. You parlay that with Niners minus 6.5, it's plus 261.
All right, so in college, I'm taking BYU. Who do you have, Rob?
I got Arkansas plus 12.5.
And in the National Football League, I am taking San Francisco, and you have?
I have the Bengals plus 1.5.
We'll get back to the Chiefs and the Bills here. Let's talk about Josh Allen, who his career is very, very similar to Peyton Manning when he was at Indianapolis. Now, don't get it confused. Peyton Manning was definitely a better quarterback than Josh Allen. Peyton Manning, in my opinion, is one of the 5 greatest quarterbacks that we have ever seen. But if you look at their first handful of years as starters, they're very, very similar. In their first 7 years, Josh Allen won 71 games. Peyton Manning won 66 games. They were both, I would say, the clear second-best quarterback of their era. Peyton Manning was 0-6 in his first 6 games against Tom Brady, hadn't made it to a Super Bowl, and there were a lot of questions about Peyton Manning and his ability to win the big game. I know now that we have seen the entire story play itself out, and we saw Peyton Manning get 2 rings, but very early on in his career, a lot of people questioned if Peyton Manning could get over the hump and win the big game and defeat his nemesis. It took him a lot of time to do it. Again, Peyton Manning was 0-6 in his first 6 tries against Tom Brady. He eventually beat Tom Brady. He eventually was able to get over that hump. Do we not see the exact same similarities in Josh Allen? Now, Josh Allen is not 0-6 against Patrick Mahomes, but we were talking about there are 2 completely different Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs games. In the regular season, the Bills have won 3 of 4 of those games. The Bills have been better than the Chiefs in games like we are going to see on Sunday. But when the weather gets cold, when we get to January, the Chiefs have been better than Buffalo. The Chiefs took care of them in their first playoff matchup in the AFC Championship game where Josh Allen got frustrated and threw the ball at Chris Jones. Their second game, Buffalo had, I don't know if you want to call it a choke, a collapse, whatever you want to say. They had that game in the bag. And for you to give up a lead with less than 20 seconds to go, you lose the coin flip, you never get an opportunity. That is an all-time heartbreaker. And last year in the postseason, you finally had Kansas City coming to you. You've always had to go to Kansas City in the games that really, really matter. You finally had your home opportunity, your home shot for a team that was perceived to be down. It was one thing to beat up on Miami in the wild card round. Now you got to go on the road and you got to do this against a Buffalo team that had a really strong second half of the season and put themselves in playoff contention. And the Chiefs did what they usually do. They won, they took care of business, and they continued to keep the rest of the AFC at arm's length. Rob, there is so many similarities between the beginning of Peyton Manning's career and how he would usually hit his head on a ceiling, and that ceiling was the New England Patriots. There's a lot of similarities between that and Josh Allen, who has done almost the exact same thing. And every time Josh Allen has believed he has had a chance or the ability to go to the Super Bowl, he has knocked his head on the exact same team every single time.
That's why, and you asked Sean Barber this yesterday, and I believe you asked Danny this yesterday when he was on the show. Who are the other quarterbacks in the AFC that eventually make the Super Bowl? Because Patrick Mahomes is not going to make every Super Bowl for the rest of his career. The numbers just would say that's never going to happen. Patrick Mahomes is awesome. He's not going the rest of his career as an appearance guy at minimum in the Super Bowl. And those numbers make me think it's going to be Josh Allen. You're right. There was a time in NFL football where we asked the question, will Peyton Manning ever win the big one? Or is Peyton Manning just Dan Marino? That was an actual conversation we had. Looking back at it, it looks ridiculous because Peyton Manning goes down as one of the best quarterbacks of all time. But that's what we were talking about. Remember that 2003 game where back when the rules where you could basically fight a wide receiver at the line of scrimmage, Ty Law was punching Marvin Harrison in the line, and they were smoking the Patriots. But eventually, Peyton got over the hump. That's how I feel about Josh Allen. He's very, very good. Eventually, he's going to get over the Mahomes hump. He's going to go down as the inferior to Mahomes historically for all the obvious reasons, but those numbers continue to indicate to me eventually Josh Allen finds his way or wins one of the Super Bowls.
And the thing about big games is no one believes you can win them until you win them. Like history usually says you won't do the great thing. You won't win the championship. You won't have that kind of success, and you eventually have to prove the doubters wrong. It sounds a lot like Jason Tatum. When you really think about it, this is kind of the career path of Jason Tatum. Got close a couple of times, had questions if he could win the big one. You win the big one, and then no one ever has that conversation about you anymore. That's where Josh Allen is. He has reached a point, I would say a little bit different than Lamar because he doesn't have the individual awards and accolades that Lamar Jackson is. No one cares if Buffalo wins or loses this game. If they win, great. They beat Kansas City. If you lose, that's kind of what some people expect. That Josh Allen is reaching the point where there is just one more box left for you to check. We all have put, I don't want to say the crown on your head because Mahomes has it, but we have all labeled you as you are his biggest rival. Well, at some point, the rival has to win. Phil Mickelson eventually had to win a major. Jason Tatum had to win a championship. These other guys eventually had to get over the hump. When will Josh Allen eventually get over the hump? We'll find out. Coming up on the other side, we have a Carrington hypothetical game related to Sunday's matchup. I'll tell you what it is. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The Kid takes on the King in one of the most anticipated exhibition events in boxing history. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, live from the best sports bar in the game. Available live at participating locations. Contact your favorite store for more info.
Kansas City is Sean Barber. You know there's nothing easier than to enjoy watching the Chiefs with some wings and an ice-cold Bud Light. And Buffalo Wild Wings is serving up both for every game, all season long. Join me at Buffalo Wild Wings off 152 and North Flintlock Road in KC Mo, Friday, November 15th. I'll be there from 6 to 8 p.m. celebrating the back-to-back Super Bowl champ while eating some wings and drinking $5 Bud Lights. Nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
For more, go to 965thefan.com. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City, now open. Dine on mouth-watering appetizers, then feast on one of our 6 American Wagyu burgers, including the Bacon Jam Burger and Blazing Burger. Wash it down with your favorite ice-cold beverage, all while watching the game on one of our 45 TVs. Dine in or carry out. Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City always hits the spot. Brew Brothers and Brew Brothers Express are now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-BETS-OFF.
Hey investors, this is JD again with Crossroads Investment Lending. Still wanting to get in that fix and flip game? Don't have the money? Maybe you've always wanted to get yourself a rental property. We can help you get in the door. Call the fix and flip guys at Crossroads Investment Lending, 913-766-2900, or go to kclend.com. That's kclend.com. Get started in the fix and flip game. What are you waiting for? That's Crossroads Investment Lending, 913-766-2900 or kclend.com.
Tune in this week to kick off with Boomer and Valenti to hear the Sims Spotlight featuring Super Bowl winning quarterback Phil Simms. Brought to you by Balance of Nature. Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is again ranked #1 in the nation for cancer care by U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals rankings. Our physicians treat more types of cancers in a day than many see in their whole career. This unmatched depth of expertise, combined with our groundbreaking discoveries, gives our patients access to the most innovative treatment options. Learn more at mdanderson.org.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com and I look forward to working with you.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-583-5795.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Sponsored by Robert Half.
9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Our recruiting professionals utilize an award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
We got a new function on the Odyssey app.
Did you guys know that this is a thing? I can send you messages from the Odyssey app. Kind of crazy.
KFNZ FM and AM HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station. The question is simple. The decision is hard. It's time for the hypothetical button game on the Drive.
All right, let me ask you guys this question. 913-586-7965, and I do want to respond to a couple of texts we had. We were talking about Josh Allen and how his career, in a lot of ways, mirrors the start that Peyton Manning had in his career. Rob, this is the scenario. It is 2 minutes left in the game, and the ball is at the 25-yard line. It was a touchback. Would you feel better if the defense was on the field up 4 and Josh Allen is taking the field? Or would you feel better if the Chiefs are down 4 and Patrick Mahomes has the opportunity to take the Chiefs down the field and go win the game? Which unit do you feel more comfortable on the field in a 2-minute game? Is it the defense up 4 needing to get a stop, or is it the offense down 4 needing to go get a touchdown?
I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes in the offense. And not just because I think Patrick Mahomes is the right play, because it's Patrick Mahomes, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time already. I think there's a little bit of, maybe it's recency bias by me, but last week I saw the defense fold in a game-winning scenario. I know the Chiefs won, but it took a miraculous special teams play for them to win. Other than that, Bo Nix went right down the field on that defense with a chance to win the game. Last year, Bills and Chiefs, the Bills had the ball in a similar scenario. They went down the field, and the Chiefs didn't give up a touchdown, but the Bills were lining up for a game-tying type of kick. So I know the defense is great, and the defense has been sensational this year. And even earlier this year, by the way, we had a situation like this, and the Ravens were a toenail, as Mitch Holtis says, away from scoring the touchdown. So I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes in the offense, because it's hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes. I have the best player on the field with the ball in his hand late. I will take that scenario all the time. That's the scenario I had in the Super Bowl last year at the Niners, and he walked away with the Lombardi Trophy. So I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes instead of taking the defense.
I'm going to take the defense on this field for this reason. Now, to go back, I also think it's fair to note that the special teams, they kicked the ball outside the landing zone, so the drive started on the 40-yard line. It's really hard to stop somebody from getting in field goal range if you're going to put the ball on the 40-yard line. So I think it's a little bit unfair toward the defense, but that's neither here nor there. Am I going to take the 11th ranked unit, or am I going to take the 5th ranked unit? I'm going to side with the defense here. The Chiefs are undefeated not because of their offense. They're undefeated right now because their defense has come up time and time again. So we can obviously find a couple examples where the defense hasn't been completely locked down. This is also the same defense that got put in a really bad spot by the offense. It's 1st and goal from the 3-yard line, and that team forced a 4-and-out for them to go down the field and win the game. When the offense has put this team in bad spots, whether it's due a penalty, whether it's due a turnovers, their defense has gotten them out of basically every jam for the last 18 months. When was the last time that the offense got the defense out of a jam? At this point, we talk about complementary football. It hasn't really been complementary both offensively and defensively. It's usually the offense does something, and then the defense goes out there and cleans up the mess that the offense made. Just this past week, the Chiefs had a chance to put that game on ice. Patrick Mahomes had a chance to put the game on ice, and he threw the ball out of bounds, and they had to kick a field goal in that scenario and rely on their special teams to save them from the fire. I feel more confident with the Chiefs defense and them getting off the field that if this is a 24-21 game and it's 2 minutes to go and you were telling the defense, you guys got to get one stop to go win the game, I trust their defense more than I trust their offense to go out there and get the stop.
I understand what you're saying, and maybe this is me playing the results, but in the answer to your question of when was the last time the offense bailed the defense out of the fire? The Super Bowl? Twice? The Chiefs went down the field and kicked a game-tying field goal to end the game in Vegas. Okay, boom, tie game, we're headed to overtime. In overtime,
Chiefs also held them to a field goal. In overtime, defense held them to a
it was
field goal.
touchdown to win the game, which is the exact same scenario as you just laid out. And they're down 3, not down 4, but it was go score a touchdown against one of the best defenses in the league. And the Chiefs went down the field and scored a touchdown. And I would tell you that offense in the Super Bowl is eerily similar to the one they're going to be playing on Sunday. I know we've, messed around with names and things of that nature, but the weaponry is similar. I would still take the Chiefs. So the text line points out the same thing kind of happened in the Bucs game. The defense had a chance to go ice down and win the game. They failed. The offense then had a chance to go ice down and win the game. They succeeded. Maybe it's name and reputation and all those things. I am not willingly being like, I'd rather not see Mahomes on the field than anything else.
Text line 913-586-7965. We'll ask you guys the same question. We'll read some of your text here. It is 2 minutes left in the game, and the ball is on the 25-yard line. I can give you one of two scenarios. Would you feel better with the Chiefs with the 4-point lead, and you were asking their defense to hold Josh Allen and not give up a touchdown? Or would you rather take being down 4 in that scenario, and Patrick Mahomes is taking the field? You got 2 timeouts. You got all the time to work. You got 4 downs, and you got to go score a touchdown. Let us know what you guys think. 913-586-7965. Coming up in a bit, we're going to be joined by Steve Tasker. He covers the Buffalo Bills on One Bills Way. Also with WGR, he is on the Bills radio network as well. I want to read one text to you guys, 913-586-7965. We were talking about Josh Allen and how his career in a lot of ways has mirrored the start that Peyton Manning had in Indianapolis, and eventually Peyton Manning broke through. Is Josh Allen going to break through? Someone texted in, C-Dot, Josh Allen is nothing but the next Phillip Rivers. Okay, if you think that about Josh Allen, that is fair. I can't tell you you are right or wrong. We are still writing the story for Josh Allen. But this is what I would push back on Josh Allen if you think he's the next Phillip Rivers. Who's the next Drew Brees then? Who's the next Ben Roethlisberger? Who's the next Aaron Rodgers? Or do these characters not exist in Patrick Mahomes' story? Because even with how great Tom Brady was, and Brady won a lot of championships, had a lot of success, and beat all of these guys that we're talking about, there was still room for Aaron Rodgers to happen during this time. There was still room for Eli Manning to happen during this time and all of these other guys. So if you were telling me that Josh Allen is Phillip Rivers in this story, a really good quarterback who scores a lot and puts up a lot of numbers but is unable to get to the next level, that's fair. Is there a Drew Brees in this generation? Is there an Aaron Rodgers? Is there a Ben Roethlisberger? Is there a Russell Wilson in this generation? Or again, do these characters just not exist and Patrick is he's the lone quarterback that has this kind of success? I think Josh Allen eventually gets one. I don't know when it's going to be. Maybe it's this year, maybe it's next year. I don't know exactly when it's going to be. But I do think that he's too good and too talented of a quarterback to not eventually get there. I think at some point in Josh Allen's career, everything just lines up, and it's really hard to get all of those things to line up. It's been really hard for Josh Allen to do it. It's been really hard for Lamar to do it. It's been really hard for all of these other guys to do it. I'm just going to guess at one point in his career it happens. Let me ask you this question, Rob, about Josh Allen. If I set the over-under on Super Bowl appearances for Josh Allen at 1.5, so not wins, Just, do you think that Josh Allen makes it to 2 or more Super Bowls in his career? Would you take the over or the under on 1.5?
First off, I echo what Danny said on the show yesterday and catch it on the podcast page. That's the right number. That's a really good number. I'm going to take the over. I think Allen ends his tenure in Buffalo or his time in the NFL, and we will look back at him as he was the biggest consistent threat to Mahomes. I think he eventually gets to 2. Burrow has the 1, but I think Burrow's team is on the wrong side of the pendulum. They are now in regression a little bit. Lamar has just never been able to do it. Like, even in the regular season, Lamar seems to always be a little bit short of Mahomes. And outside of that, I don't trust C.J. Stroud right now. I don't trust Tua. There's a lot of guys in the league I just don't think are in that category. So I think I'd take the over, but I think the number is 2. I don't think he gets to more than 2 in his career.
Yeah, I would probably take the over as well. I agree with a lot of the things that you said. That feels about right to me. It does feel like Josh Allen gets to a couple. Maybe his career is really close to Peyton Manning. You remember, Peyton had the 1 Super Bowl appearance in Indianapolis. There was a gap in between, and then he got to 2 in Denver. He got to the one where they got blown out by Seattle, and then they won the final one in his career where they beat the Carolina Panthers. So maybe that's how things kind of play itself out for Josh Allen. I just think that he's just too talented of a player. I don't know if there's been too many guys in league history kind of like him. He's probably the closest we've seen to Cam Newton, but just a much better passer than I think Cam Newton developed into at Carolina. When you think about his arm, his downfield ability, his short yardage running game, I think Josh Allen's one of the more special and unique quarterbacks that we've seen in the league. Coming up next, we're going to head to Buffalo to be joined by Steve Tasker. He is in the Buffalo Bills Hall of Fame. He also is on the Bills Radio Network. We'll get their perspective on Sunday's matchup between the Chiefs and the Bills. Keep it right here. So drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
You guys already know what my plan is tonight. I plan on watching the fight, and I plan on doing it with a great pizza from my friends over at The Other Place. It's Carrington here telling you to stop by The Other Place, your game day headquarters. All right, maybe you're not watching the fight. Maybe you're getting ready for Sunday's matchup between Kansas City and Buffalo. We'll stop in because they have incredible game day specials. They got a 14-inch two-topping pizza for $12. They got $12 you can get 8 wings in a basket of tots. You can get a $4 beer, a $4 domestic. It's the next best thing to being at the stadium, and since Kansas City is on the road, it's the best game day atmosphere that you're going to get with amazing specials. They've been making 25 years of some of the best pizza in town, so go stop by any one of the 5 area locations. For your game day needs, be sure to stop by The Other Place.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Yeah, there are so many football games streaming this season. Can Xfinity Internet handle it?
Oh, we know the game is only live once, so we built a network with all-pro speeds and low lag so you don't miss a snap.
So I can yell, "He's open!" when he's actually open?
Yeah, but the quarterback still can't hear you.
Switch to Xfinity Internet and TV and enjoy instant access to your favorite live sports with the Xfinity Stream app. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Streaming content limited to the U.S. Programming subject to change.
The election is finally over. Now you can get the cash you need. Imagine what you could do with $50,000. Pay off credit cards, do home improvements, or even pay off auto loans. Golden Oak's mortgage rate is 5.25%. There's no out-of-pocket costs, so call today and make no payments until next year. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
6.19 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
As you've likely figured out, I can get pretty fired up. Whether it's lab diamond ripoffs, bogus sales and financing offers, or paint-by-number jewelry sold as custom, I'm pretty passionate about protecting my client family from predatory jewelers. This is Gene at House of Diamonds, and when I say client family, I really do mean family. At House of Diamonds, we have clients who have watched our kids grow from diapers to dormitories. My family and I are personally in the store every day. We go to school and church here. Our kids play sports here. We look our clients in the eye, not in their bank accounts. Our relationships are based on trust and respect, not ad gimmicks and false promises. No fake custom jewelry, no bogus sales and financing offers, and absolutely no lab diamond ripoffs. Everything at House of Diamonds is real. Me, my family, our team, our passion, and hopefully soon you. House of Diamonds on the southeast corner of College and Quivira.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Well, I'm Phil Sims. I played pro football for 15 years. People always ask me, what am I doing now? And I've been teaching kids and trying to help them throw the football better. The confidence I can see in them, that's what makes it all worthwhile. And taking Balance of Nature makes me feel happy and just living a good life.
Go to balanceofnature.com and get 35% off with your first order as a preferred customer by using discount code
Phil.
Mommy, want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with DayQuil VapoCool. It's DayQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is DayQuil VapoCool.
DayQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Jenna Fisher. And I'm Angela Kinsey. And together we have the podcast Office Ladies. Just because we finished rewatching The Office does not mean we're going anywhere. Every Wednesday, we'll be sharing even more exclusive stories from The Office and our friendship with brand new guests. Plus, you can revisit all the Office Ladies rewatch episodes every Monday with new bonus tidbits before every episode. So follow and listen to Office Ladies on the free Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Traffic brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Emergency vehicles at eastbound 70 right at Prospect. That's got the right lane closed, so traffic heavy coming out of downtown. Also going into downtown, northbound 35, you're going to hit the downtown loop and it's going to slow down even more. And we've got a crash that's westbound 50 highway right at southbound 291 on the Metro's far southeast side. This is closing the left lane. Want more from your dealership? At Metro Ford, every new vehicle comes with a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. Family owned, 10 minutes from downtown, packed with unbeatable value. Drive smarter only at Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Chiefs fans, it's Trey Smith. Welcome to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into The Drive on 96.5 The Fan. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here with you, getting you ready for Chiefs and Bills, one of the most important games of the NFL season. Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by a Bills legend. Steve Tasker joins us on the show today. Steve, happy to have you join us today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, Steve. Let's start with this. I'm in Kansas City. Obviously, the anticipation and hype for this one is through the roof. Everyone's excited to go back to Buffalo. These two teams usually play really tight, really contested game. What's the vibe in Buffalo with Kansas City coming into town?
It's a playoff vibe. I mean, this is an enormous game. Fans are, off the charts excited about it. They're really proud of the rivalry between these two teams. There's a lot of respect up here, obviously, for Kansas City, like there is everywhere. But we also know that we kind of feel, I think, in Buffalo, the Bills might be the last best shot anybody has to beat these guys this year. I feel like they've got a good shot at it. They got a good squad. They're playing well. They're a little nicked up, just like the Chiefs are. But Bills fans feel like, if they can somehow find a way to beat this team like nobody has, if they can beat this team, they can get back in the race, give them some pressure for the number 1 seed, and make a season out of it instead of just being a foregone conclusion that the Chiefs are going back to the Super Bowl and winning it again.
Steve, where does this rivalry stand from the Buffalo perspective? Because looking at it through the lens of Kansas City, they have I would say, contentious rivalry with Cincinnati. Cincinnati won an AFC championship game in Kansas City. Cincinnati talks trash. There's that banter kind of back and forth. From the Buffalo players' perspective, is there mutual respect for Kansas City? Is there hate? Is there dislike? How do Bills players feel about the Chiefs?
Oh, I think there's a healthy respect, no question about it. But there's also, from the fans' perspective here in Buffalo, they probably feel it's more of a roadblock than a rivalry. I just can't get past these guys. Certainly in the regular season, the Bills have beaten the Chiefs more than anybody else. But when push comes to shove and it's a do-or-die game in the playoffs, they can't get it done. So there is a lot of angst about this game, and whenever you face the Chiefs, just because you never run off and leave them on the scoreboard, and even if you do get up by 10 points, they're going to come back and score on you and put the ball back into your court where you've got to score again. So there's a ton of respect in this area, and I think inside this locker room that for these Chiefs guys, and you just know that it's going to be one of those games that is going to come down to a final play, a final drive, whoever has the ball last, or into overtime. So there's just kind of a resignation that we're all going to be it's going to be high anxiety for everybody watching this game.
Right now, we're talking to Steve Tasker. He is the Bills legend. He also is the host of One Bills Live. You can catch on WGR. Steve, as we look to these two teams, Kansas City is very different than the last time that these two teams played each other. No Isaiah Pacheco, no Rashee Rice. They've made the trade for DeAndre Hopkins. This is a familiar Chiefs team in a lot of ways, but very different also as well. How is Buffalo different from the last time these two teams played one another?
Well, at the beginning of this year, after the playoffs ended last year, there was only one guy left on the roster that had ever caught a pass from Josh Allen in a game. That's Khalil Shakir. Now they do have Dalton Kincaid, who's probably going to be out this game. They made the trade for Amari Cooper, which is a lot like the DeAndre Hopkins trade for the Kansas City Chiefs, although they have not been able to get him on the field because of an injury. All of that stuff is in the mix. Both these clubs have different faces around these two quarterbacks, but the two constants are Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen, and really everything builds off of their abilities. And even on the other side of the ball, the defenses take their cue from what these quarterbacks do. I think this is a game between the two quarterbacks and whichever defense can make a play. I mean, I don't even know if it comes down to whether you can stop the run or sack the quarterback. It's about a play in the right moment. You just know both these offenses are going to make enough plays to keep it close. And if it does come down to a play on the defensive side, it's going to be a splash play, a tipped interception or a sack, or a turnover. It's just going to be one of those games. This rivalry is about the two guys taking snaps, and everybody else fills in around them. And I think the skill position for both these clubs and the differences that are present this year rather than last year is a testament to that.
I know you guys haven't got a chance to see a whole lot of Amari Cooper. He played in the first game. He had 4 catches for 66 yards and scored a touchdown, and then he had an injury. Where does he stand for Sunday's game? What can you expect from Amari Cooper on Sunday?
I think he's a game-time decision. He's been questionable all week. He's been limited in practice. It's a wrist injury, so it does affect him catching the ball. And one of the criticisms he's gotten, in fact, people were kind of nervously chuckling that the first target he got as a Bill, he dropped right in his chest. And with a wrist injury, which is what this is, it kind of makes how effective can he be? They have missed his presence out there, and certainly the absence of Keon Coleman is a huge loss for this club. Coleman was really beginning to ascend as a weapon in this offense, and now with the wrist injury to him as well, his presence has really been missed. So with Khalil Shakir, Dawson Knox, James Cook, Ray Davis, the two running backs, that's kind of changed the personality of this offense. Now, having said that, in the last couple of weeks, with those guys at those spots, their third down conversion rate has skyrocketed from where it was early in the year. They had been very good on third down in years past. This year, not so much. But now they're starting to find it, and they're starting to become more Chiefs-like in their ability to stay on the field, and that has helped.
Right now, we're talking to Steve Tasker, who covers the Buffalo Bills. Let's keep it with the injury theme. No Dalton Kincaid in this game. I really like Kincaid. He's proven to be one of the better young tight ends in the league. What does it mean for Buffalo to not have him? And is this injury maybe softened by the fact that you do have a capable backup tight end in Dawson Knox, who has really matched up well against Kansas City?
Yeah, I think it more than the production. Certainly Dawson Knox can play extremely well and sign an extension, and they love having him out there. I think more than anything else, it will affect the personnel packages that the Bills want to use in this game. Without Dalton Kincaid, you're not going to go as much two tight end. You know, you're not going to go like that. So, and without Cooper or Coleman, it kind of curtails your ability to go three wide. So that's really the question. What personnel grouping are the Bills going to lean on the most, even when they throw the football as well as run it? That's the question. I don't know that there's going to be an answer until the game's over, or at least that it's begun.
Steve, from a defensive perspective, how do you feel Buffalo lines up against Kansas City? In the 7 games that these two teams have played against each other, Buffalo is giving up 27.1 points per game. This is one of the better defenses in the league, but I feel like they usually have a tough time stopping Kansas City in these matchups.
Yeah, I'll say the thing about the Bills' defense, that early on in this rivalry, Leslie Frazier was the defensive coordinator, and the Bills' defense was very solid, very hard to move the football on. They were top 3 or 4 in the league in the rankings of all the yardage, yards per play, yards passing, yards rushing. But they were never spectacular under Leslie Frazier. They never made splash plays, got the big sack, got the big turnover. Then when Sean McDermott took over last year, that started to be the case. And now with Bob Babich as their defensive coordinator, that has continued to be the case. They're getting a little healthier up front. They got some help from Quentin Jefferson and Jordan Phillips being signed back onto the squad. That gives them some big bodies down inside. Dwayne Carter has gotten injured, the rookie, and he has not been able to play. But Daquan Jones is still there. Ed Oliver is still there. And this defense has been a really good defense at churning turnovers. That has been the real hallmark of this club. Their secondary has played really well and really sniffed out some balls that really you didn't think they would. Been unexpectedly a really good playmaking defense. So while their rankings and stats haven't been spectacular, they are a big part of why Buffalo is tied for the league lead in turnover differential.
Steve, you mentioned that this game has a playoff feel and a playoff atmosphere. I don't know if it's really possible to have a regular season game that has more importance than this one. We're talking about if Kansas City wins this game, they will have a 4-game advantage over Buffalo. If the Chiefs lose this game, they will have a 1-game advantage. Like, I don't know if you see too many regular season games, certainly not at this point in the season, that have that much bearing on who could potentially host the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, it's big. Certainly both these teams have run off and left their division rivals. The division, the AFC East, is certainly not going to be won by anybody but the Buffalo Bills this year. Of course, the West is exact same for Kansas City. This is all about the seed, the playoff seeding. And you know, in a perfect world for both clubs, which of them are going to host the AFC Championship game against the other? That's really what this game is about. I think Bills fans up here are probably a little bit relieved that the Chiefs blocked that field goal last week against the Broncos. You don't really want to catch the Chiefs coming off a loss like that. The added pressure of kind of trying to, even though they'll say, well, it's just an extra thing going undefeated, that's still out there, and it adds a little bit of something to the Chiefs' plate that they got to think about while they're going through all of this. Certainly going for their 3rd straight Super Bowl is out there for them. So I think the Bills are really – you're right. This game is big. And like I said earlier, I think most people out there think this is the last best chance for somebody to really beat the Chiefs. They've got a good schedule going forward. There's a couple of teams that might be a bump in the road, but once they get past this game, there's no question. It's just everybody's just watching the hourglass tick until the playoffs can start, and everybody has to go through Kansas City to get to the Super Bowl.
Steve, last question here. Give me a Chiefs key to victory. Give me a Bills key to victory in your mind.
Well, Chiefs' key to victory is obviously being efficient on their drive. They got to finish drives with touchdowns. They can't settle for field goals here in Buffalo, particularly with a new field goal kicker who's a question mark. Punch it in the end zone. They've been very good on 3rd down, and that's going to be the key. Just remain good on 3rd down. stay on the field, and finish drives. And for Buffalo, I think defensively they've got to find a way to get their hands on the ball defensively and give Buffalo a couple of extra possessions. If they can do that, that'll give Josh Allen and a depleted skill group a chance to keep up with this Chiefs offense. But either way it goes, I still think this is coming down to the final possession.
That is Steve Tasker joining us on the show today. He is a Buffalo Bills legend. You can hear him on WGR in Buffalo, giving us the Bills' perspective for one of the most important regular season games in the last handful of years. Chiefs and Bills on Sunday. The entire country will be able to watch the game. Steve, great stuff. Appreciate your time. Have a great call on Sunday.
You too. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. That is Steve Tasker joining us on the show. Let's answer this question ourselves. Our Chiefs win if, Bills win if scenario. We'll also get to 4 of the other important games this weekend in the National Football League. We'll also be joined by Trent McDuffie coming up in 15 minutes. So keep it right here on 96.5 The Fan. My Chiefs win if scenario is if this team just continues to control the line of scrimmage and run the football effectively. It is not a surprise to me. I would say the game in which the Chiefs were the most at danger to lose so far this season was the game that they did not run the ball effectively. Now, it wasn't due to a lack of effort. I don't think that they got away from trying to run the ball. Denver did a really good job at forcing the Chiefs to be one-dimensional. They didn't really run the football effectively last week. I mean, they had 16 carries from their running backs, and they had 38 rushing yards. They only scored 16 points. Now, they left some meat on the bones. They missed a pass play to Travis Kelce. They also missed one to Xavier Worthy, but they had one of their worst offensive days, and it lined up with the day which they didn't run the football effectively. You know that the volume is going to be there with Kareem Hunt. He is going to get his opportunities. He is going to get his touches. He is going to get his carries. Control the line of scrimmage, run the football effectively, be a multifaceted, multi-dimensional offense, and especially when you get to the red zone and converting. I would say that their kicking situation is now the great unknown. I don't know how they're going to kick the ball on Sunday. It could be no change without having Harrison Butker. It could be the reason that the Chiefs lose on Sunday. We're going to have to see the way that the game plays itself out. But I would say continue to run the football, be balanced, control the line of scrimmage. That is my Chiefs win-if scenario. And if you're Buffalo, I think you're going to probably need to force a turnover in this game. Patrick Mahomes has done a really good job the last couple of weeks at protecting the football. Can you force him to make a mistake? And if you're Buffalo, it's in vain with the running the football, you probably need to take something away. This could be the healthiest and maybe most weapons that the Chiefs have had in a game. This could be the first game that you get DeAndre Hopkins, Travis Kelce, and Juju. We'll see if Juju plays and what he looks like in the game. If you're not going to be able to take something away from Kansas City, I don't know if you're going to be able to win. I also think that Buffalo needs to be balanced. This is the game that I don't really see a game script that Buffalo wins if James Cook doesn't play well. So for Kansas City, I think it's continue to do what you've done with Kareem Hunt. For Buffalo, I think they're going to need to force a turnover. What are your keys to the game?
Mine are very similar. I'll start with Kansas City. Don't turn the ball over. Patrick Mahomes last 2 weeks has not turned the ball over, and the Chiefs' offense has looked better. I know everyone is circling DeAndre Hopkins. Oh, look, Hopkins is here. The offense is better, and there is an effect. I'm not saying there isn't. But you know what Patrick Mahomes has stopped doing the last 2 weeks? Giving the ball to the wrong team. There was a point in the NFL season, and not like week 1, like week 8, where he had more interceptions than touchdowns. He cannot give the Bills possessions. We've heard Jeremy White and Steve Tasker both on this show this week, and they've both said if the Bills can get one, they feel pretty confident. Sean Barber said yesterday their defense is very fortunistic, as I believe what he said. I don't know if that's a word or not, but basically it means the Bills are going to try to thrive on turnovers. The Chiefs have had a turnover problem. If they can not have a problem on Sunday, I think they will win. For the Bills, you hit the nail on the head. James Cook was the difference in the game at Arrowhead last year, the regular season game. Again, everyone's going to say, well, Kadarius Toney was offsides. The Chiefs had no answer for James Cook, not just on the ground. He had a nice day on the ground. He had 5 catches for 83 yards and a touchdown through the air. We know the Chiefs' struggles this year defending the tight end in the passing game. they also, at least a couple times, have had problems defending the running back pass game. If James Cook is going to have 5 for 83, the Chiefs could be in big trouble. So it's similar to me. If you're Chiefs, protect the football. Don't give away possessions. And for the Bills, you got to get James Cook going. He's got to be like FedEx, air and ground. And if he does that, the Bills could be in for a win.
Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll be joined by Trent McDuffie, cornerback for the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll also be joined by Nate Taylor of The Athletic coming up at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. Before we get to that, there are a handful of other important games in the National Football League, none more important than the Chiefs and Bills game. But let's get to, I would say, the handful of other important games this weekend in the National Football League. Take it away, Rob.
Let's start in the NFC. Carrington, a team you believed in earlier this year, the Chicago Bears. Earlier this week, they fired their offensive coordinator, as Danny Parkins told us yesterday.
Embarrassing.
That's very big dysfunction when you fire the hand-picked OC to come in to groom the quarterback. But does a change at play caller mean the Bears are back as they play the Packers at home, or is it just rut-row time in the Windy City?
I mean, it definitely can't be a bad thing. I mean, over the last couple of weeks, they scored 3 points last week against the Patriots. They scored 9 points against the Arizona Cardinals, and they scored 15 points against Washington. So maybe shaking things up was a positive. I think you have to take Green Bay here. I think we know who Green Bay is. You know who they are? They're the NFC version of the Texans. Green Bay is not in the same category as Philadelphia, not in the same category as Detroit. They're probably not as good as San Francisco, but you know what? Green Bay is going to be a wild card team that is going to be a squad that you don't want to play in the postseason. And I think that they've clearly shown that they're better than teams like the Chicago Bears. There are 3 losses this year. They lost to Philadelphia, Minnesota, and Detroit. That is not what the Bears are. Give me the Packers on the road.
Let's stay in the noon slate. The second best game of the weekend, or at least the second best AFC game of the weekend, an AFC North clash between the Steelers and the Ravens. Weird scheduling quirk. It's the Steelers' first divisional opponent of the season.
Very, very late.
They are a team that myself, you, and many people view as a little bit of schedule driven, although better than we thought. They have a chance to make a statement on Sunday against the Ravens. Will you consider them a viable 1-seed contender if they win at home on Sunday?
Yeah, you know what? I am going to take the Steelers in this game. I really like the Steelers. Maybe I'm trying to compensate for the fact that I was not a believer early in the year, but the same way we talk about Patrick Mahomes and how you should take him every time that he's an underdog, you should feel the exact same way about Mike Tomlin. Did you know that Mike Tomlin actually has a winning record as a head coach when his team, they're the underdogs? And as a home underdog, Rob, they are 26-3 against the spread as a home underdog. So the correct play is to take Pittsburgh at home and the points. I think Pittsburgh is better at quarterback than people think. This is the best version of Najee Harris. They've got a capable defense. Give me the win outright at home against the Baltimore Ravens.
Speaking of the AFC, the Denver Broncos have a big one this weekend. They play at home against the Atlanta Falcons, 3 o'clock on Fox. If you got a 2-TV system, that'd be a nice one to keep in the background. Carrington, myself, and a lot of other people have pointed this out. The Broncos' schedule is about to get more difficult. It started with Kansas City last weekend. They probably should have won, but you don't get any award for being real close. They did lose. Do they show that, hey, they're better than people think, or does the skid continue with the Falcons at home?
Yeah, I'm going to guess that the skid continues for the Broncos. This is just a really, really difficult stretch. I mean, you have played 2, I would say, of the top 6 teams in the National Football League. You got embarrassed by one of them in Baltimore. You should have won last week against Kansas City. Now you play Atlanta at home. I think this is important. The fact that Atlanta is a small underdog in this one tells you, that Vegas actually thinks that they are the better team, but they're going to give the Broncos the slight edge because they're the home team. I think the Broncos are at a little bit of an offensive disadvantage. I really like Atlanta. If you want like a wild card who can maybe get hot in the NFC, I really like the Falcons. I think the Falcons go on the road. I think they take care of business. I might even actually alternate spread this thing, maybe put it at 2.5, maybe 3.5. I think the Falcons go in and really make a statement against a very disciplined, good Broncos team.
The final and big other game this weekend, other than Chiefs and Bills.
And really quickly, just to give you, a quick thought on the Broncos. I mean, the Broncos 5 losses this year on the road against Seattle, Pittsburgh, the Chargers, Baltimore, and Kansas City. They have not shown me that they can beat this quality and this caliber of opponent. Atlanta is certainly closer to Baltimore and Kansas City than they are New Orleans without Derek Carr and Carolina, the last 2 wins for the Broncos. I like Atlanta.
Last game to highlight of the weekend. It is an NFC West tilt. The Seahawks head on the road to the San Francisco 49ers. Carrington, the Niners have been middling most of the year, but Christian McCaffrey is back. Does that mean the Niners look like that Super Bowl contender again, or do they continue to be up and down?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take San Francisco in this game. I do think that they're getting right. I think they're getting healthy at the right time. They're getting back some of their key pieces. They're over 500. They have won 2 games in a row, and I think we're about to see this team go on a little bit of a run. Now, it's not the easiest schedule. They got Seattle, like you just mentioned, on the road against Green Bay, on the road against Buffalo. So we'll certainly see if San Francisco is still that Super Bowl caliber team. I do like them to take care of business against the Seattle Seahawks. That was part of my parlay earlier in the show. Go ahead and I'll take the points with San Francisco. They should have covered last week against Tampa Bay, but they just missed all of those field goals. I will take San Francisco at home, getting better in the second half of the season. A team that has won 3 out of its last 4, and their only loss was a home loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. Coming up on the other side, we'll be joined by Trent McDuffie, all-pro corner for the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll learn a little bit more about him. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5. The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Let me tell you guys about one of my guilty pleasures during the football season. It's eating some chips, having some wings, a little veggies, and having your favorite dips while you're watching football. And I got a new dip to tell you guys about. Daisy Sour Cream has come out with the French onion and ranch dip. It's a game changer. These are as good as any homemade dip that you could try. Real herbs, real spices, and ingredients that you'd only find in your kitchen. I highly suggest the French dip or the creamy ranch dip. That's perfect for any game day watch party.
I'm Tiffany, founder of Harlem Pilates. When I couldn't find Pilates in my neighborhood, I started a studio from my studio apartment. Chase Inc. helped me grow from 1 Pilates studio to 3. Because when you start small, you're going to need some big help.
With the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food. No matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Finding an attorney can be an overwhelming process. Fortunately, since 1996, Mark Ferguson has helped thousands of Kansas Cityans during their time of need. Whether you're facing a traffic violation or a more serious crime, Mark and his team of seasoned, compassionate professionals are here to fight for you in all of your legal matters. Mark has built his career on integrity, knowledge, and an incredible reputation. Call Mark Ferguson at 816-203-2263. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, Kansas City, this is Jeff Briggs with Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, home of the Victory Effect, our pledge to drive down vehicle pricing for the city we love. I have some fantastic news to share with you all as we usher in the Ram Power Days for the month of October. MSRPs have dropped, rebates have increased, and the Federal Reserve has finally lowered interest rates. So along with that, Chrysler has just announced incentivized rates across our entire product lineup. Now, through the end of the month, well-qualified buyers can get rates as low as 4.9% for 72 months on all 2025 Ram 1500s in stock. Not only can you take advantage of this great interest rate program, but as you all know, I'm going to throw unprecedented discounts on top of the incredible rates to get you an affordable monthly payment. If a Jeep or SUV is more of your liking, then come check out the new Wrangler or the new Jeep Grand Cherokee with special rates as low as 0% and once again paired with Victory's industry-leading pricing. Visit us at Kansas City's only automotive outlet mall, the Legends Auto Plaza, on the southeast corner of 435 and Parallel, just east of Nebraska Furniture Mart, or online at victorymotorskc.com, where our first price is better than their last.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the propane tank on your grill first, before hosting a tailgate.
Let's fire up. Here, let me try. Seriously? You didn't check the propane? Who wants chips?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Salt and vinegar?
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Football season is in full swing. Take full advantage by winning some cash with Sleeper Picks. Sleeper Picks is a fantasy game, but you could win real money. Just pick more or less than at least 2 of your favorite player stats. If you're right, you could win. You can pick up to 8 players to win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Sleeper has a special offer. New users will have their first deposit match up to $1,500. So if you deposit $1,500, they'll give you an extra $1,500 in credit. If you've already played, Sleeper's got discounted player projections every week of the season. Check in and see what they have this week. Download the Sleeper app now and use promo code SCORE, and your first deposit will be matched 100% up to $1,500 in credit. What are you waiting for? Download Sleeper today and unlock one of the fastest-growing fantasy sports apps in the world. Use code SCORE for up to $1,500 credit match on your first deposit. That's code SCORE. Must be at least 18 years old in most states and in state where it is legal. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. See terms of use for details at sleeper.com. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help. Sponsored by Sleeper, a Blitz product.
Brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Sean Baldwin. You know there's nothing easier than to enjoy watching the Chiefs with some wings and an ice-cold Bud Light. Join me at Buffalo Wild Wings off 152 in North Flintlock Road in KC Mo, Friday, November 15th. I'll be there from 6 to 8 p.m. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Chiefs fans, it's Nick Bolton, MIZ. Welcome to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. We are happy right now to be joined by Chiefs cornerback Trent McDuffie in preparation for Sunday's game against Buffalo. Trent, man, happy to have you on the show today.
Yeah, man, appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, man. Let's start with this. We are not asking you any football questions. We want to learn more about you. You guys are playing Buffalo. They're obviously known for their wings. Are you taking drums or flats?
Flats, all day.
See, this was my argument. I like flats. I like the drums. I think we get way too picky on chicken. Chicken is chicken. I'm going to eat it. You can have the drum. I'll take the flat, vice versa. I just want it to be well-seasoned and cooked right. That's all I care about.
Honestly, I agree with that. You know, you really can't go wrong. But if I had my pickings, I would have to go flats.
All right, what is your favorite wing flavor? So I'll give you my top 3 while you think about it. I'm going to go lemon pepper, number 1. I like a Cajun, Louisiana kind of rub for number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go garlic parmesan for number 3. That's my top 3. Give me your top 3 wing flavors.
See, I'm with you. Lemon pepper got to be one. That's got to be at the top of the list always. 2, I kind of like a little spicy. I would just go with regular buffalo. And 3, I'm with you on that Cajun, dog. That Cajun, every now and again, I can do some Cajun seasoning. So that'll probably be my top 3.
Whenever you want some wings, where are you normally going to get wings? Is there a place, maybe a place back home, maybe a place that you found in the city? Let's say that, you know, it's a Saturday, you want to watch some college football, or you guys got a bye week, you're watching football. Where do you go get wings?
Man, wings, honestly, I'm going to have to hit up one of the local barbecue spots like Jack Stack. They got a pretty good wing selection. There's this place down in Westport called man, I wish I could remember to put them on. But usually I go to like one of the barbecue spots around here that are more local. Keep it simple. If you got any good wing spots out here, though, I'm definitely open.
All right, next question here. Let's say that there's $1 million competition, and you got to sing a karaoke song. You got to go and you got to knock it out of the park. What song are you singing to try to go win that $1 million?
I'm going to give you some Alicia Keys, If I Ain't Got You, and I'm going to play it on the piano just to make it a little more special.
Hold on, you can play the piano?
A little song. I dibble-dabble.
This is the cheat code for the girlies, man. You can't be you already playing the NFL, you can sing and you can play the piano. You gotta leave something for the rest of us, man.
I love it, man. Multi-talented.
Are there any other instruments that you can play?
I would like to say drums just because it's easy to keep a beat, easy to keep a rhythm. But other than that, I'm trying to learn some guitar. I do like the guitar. I like the bass. But Mainly just piano. I could jump on the drums if I really need to.
Right now, we're catching up with Trent McDuffie here, learning a little bit more about him. Trent, these are your two options. I will give you the ability to speak to animals like Dr. Doolittle, or I will give you the ability to speak every language. Which one would you rather do?
Every language, for sure. I think, talking to animals, that could be cool and all, but if I can speak multiple languages, I think that's the coolest thing ever. I took Spanish for like 6 years. Still don't know it. I'm trying to learn all these different things, so I got a real respect for people who can speak multiple languages.
If I could go back, because, I was a communications major, so we had to take, a foreign language class. I took Spanish classes, too. I wish I had paid more attention in those classes. Learning Spanish was a far more valuable skill than I realized at 14, 15 years old.
I agree with that 100%, especially like you go and travel, and stuff. I always love to go to Mexico. And I'm always sitting around there like, see, I've heard this before, but I just don't understand, and I'm so ashamed of myself.
Whenever you go to Mexico, what part? Are you at Cancun? Are you at Tulum? What part of Mexico do you go to?
Man, I've done Cancun. I've done Tulum. I'm more on the West Coast, Cabo. So Mexico's like the first place I really traveled to outside the U.S., so I've hit a few parts there.
I usually try to go to Cancun right before you guys start training camp. Like, it's kind of my last, all right, let me get ready for the season. Let me kind of relax a little bit. The last time I went to Cancun, Trent, let me tell you the story. So I get there Thursday, you get a couple of drinks. You kind of, you're still tired from the travel day. I'm ready to go. I'm here Friday, Saturday, Sunday, fly back Monday. Trent, I am not lying to you. That Friday after brunch, went to the beach. It started to rain. It rained every single moment I was there for the entire weekend. I don't know if I ever want to go to Cancun again.
Man, that's the worst. That's especially when you travel. You got a nice little weekend booked out. Rain got to be the worst. But hopefully you're still able to vibe out a little bit, keep your feet up in the hotel room.
Right now, we're talking to Trent McDuffie. Trent, if I give you the two options, would you rather go to the moon or the bottom of the ocean?
Ooh, that's a great question. I'll probably go to the moon. I don't like the ocean. I'm scared of the ocean, so I don't want to go to no bottom of the ocean. Let me go up top, see the stars, see the earth from space. I think that's a little more cooler.
That's the one I would pick too. Like, I don't like, you're telling me there's like sharks and like there's animals in the ocean they don't even know exist. I don't want to go down there.
I always say, I know you can't breathe in space, but there's just something about water. I don't like water.
All right, Trent, since you are a music guy, give me the first concert you went to, what's the best concert you went to, and who's an artist that you haven't seen yet that you want to see?
I ain't never been to a concert. So sadly enough, that's still on the bucket list. I gotta go see a concert. And I don't know. I don't know who to see. I think that's the problem. I hear there's a lot of good artists that are really good in person. I know some artists that I do like aren't that good. So I kind of just been waiting to that right time for me to be like, okay, I want to see this artist, because I'm more of an old school guy. 90s, a little bit into the 2000s. So a lot of the music I listen to ain't really out here having a lot of concerts.
Trent, that's crazy to me that you've never been to a concert, especially living now in Kansas City, I mean, Jelly Roll just came, Beyonce's been here, Drake's been here. Almost every artist you probably listen to, they've been to Kansas City, it feels like, in the last 2 years.
Man, that is true. I can't say none for that, but I ain't really trying to go see them in concert, to be honest. I'm trying to see some new, some flavorful. You know who I would have gone and seen? I would have gone to see Rod Wave before he had a cancer. That was someone that I was really considering seeing, because I like his music. They play a lot in the locker room, so I could connect to it a little bit.
I went to go see Rod Wave the last time he was here, and I don't know much of his music. That's just not really my era, not really my generation. And Trent, let me tell you, you would have thought that Whitney Houston was up there singing. The way these kids, they knew all the words, they was crying. I never seen anything like it, brother. I never seen anything like it.
Oh, man, see, that's the exact reason I want to go see the concert. Instead of the music, I'm trying to just feel the atmosphere and see what the fans talking about.
Right now, we're talking to Trent McDuffie for a couple more minutes here. Trent, give us one normal thing that you can't do. So, for example, I cannot blow a bubble. I cannot blow up a balloon. I've tried my whole life. I've never been able to do it. What's one of those normal activities that you can't do?
That's a good question. What can't I do? You know what I really can't do? I can't swim very well. Yeah, I can't swim very well. I feel like that's something that a lot of people know how to do that like I said, I don't really like the water. I grew up in California, grew up on the beach, but it just ain't really been my thing. So I'm not the strongest swimmer. I'll say I can stay afloat here and there, but if we do a little race, you're going to smoke me.
See, Trent, I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri, so I just never really saw a reason to learn how to swim. You grew up near the beach. I just don't go anywhere where the water is.
Look, whenever me and my family go to the beach, I'm always the one up top in the sand, usually wearing some sweats or something. Like, I don't even bring swim trunks to the beach.
I got two final questions here. Let's say that you guys have a basketball tournament on your team. You guys are running a 3-on-3. Who are the two guys that you want on your team for this 3-on-3 tournament?
I need a big dude, so I'm going to do Chris Jones. I've seen his basketball skills. Heavy set. He can play in the post, kind of like my Shaq dominant. And a shooter, I'm going to go Josh Williams. Tall, lengthy. He can jump now. I don't know if people know, but that man got boosted. So I feel like with me being the point, dishing it out a little bit, got the big man, got Josh who can shoot, who can dunk. I think we can go pretty far.
All right, last question here. I asked Patrick this question earlier in the week, that if you guys had a wing eating contest, you can eat the most wings in a 10-minute stretch. Who would you pick? I'll tell you who he picked, but who would you pick to win this contest, as many wings in 10 minutes?
I'm either going with my boy Derek Nottie or my boy Tershawn Wharton. I've seen them men in the cafeteria during breakfast, and I've seen them put down a lot of food. I know Trey Smith is good. I've seen him at the Kels gym, but I'm about to stick with the defense with my D lineman.
So actually, that's who Patrick picked. Patrick picked Trey Smith. So offense is picking offense, defense is picking defense. We might have to set this up. We might have to set up a Trey Smith against Derek Nottie wing eating contest to see who pulls this one out.
Yep, that's only right.
That is Trent McDuffie joining us on the show today. Happy to learn a little bit more about him. Trent, I want for you to get one interception this weekend. That's all I want. I want you to get one pick this weekend, Trent.
Man, I appreciate you speaking it out there for me.
I appreciate you, man. Take care, man.
All right.
I'm just trying to put some positive energy out there, Rob. If he gets an interception this week, he owes us the game ball. That's what I'm going to go ahead and put that out into the atmosphere right now. You don't get to keep the game ball from your first interception when you come on the show. We want the game ball. Coming up, Nate Taylor from The Athletic is going to join us in studio for the entire 4 o'clock hour. Keep it right here. So drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This traffic brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Heavy traffic downtown into downtown via southbound 35 and 169 highway. Also, the southern lanes of the downtown loop looking heavy. It is also delayed into downtown via northbound 35. We do have an exit closed, adding to the issues. Eastbound 70 to Prospect Avenue is closed. And there's a 2-car crash northbound 35 just before 635. That's closing the left lane. Want more from your dealership at Metro Ford? Every new vehicle comes with a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. Family owned, just 10 minutes from downtown and packed with unbeatable value. Drive smarter only at Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Gates Barbecue's most iconic flavors will make your holiday meals unforgettable this year. Spice up your holiday get-togethers with Gates sauces and seasonings, made with fresh ingredients and gluten-free. Prepare your meats, potatoes, and vegetables with Gates sauces and seasonings. And while watching a game or your favorite holiday movie, sprinkle Gates seasoning on a fresh pop bowl of popcorn. Your taste buds will thank you. Buy Gates now. Available at your local grocer or online at gatesbarbecue.com. We do it the old-fashioned way.
The NFL continues on, and there's no better place to get in on the action than with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Let's get ready for maybe the biggest matchup this season in the NFL, and you can do so and get started with $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. All right, let's create a same-game parlay for Chiefs and Bills. I'm going to take the Chiefs as an underdog because the Chiefs are 11-3 straight up in Patrick Mahomes' career when they are a dog. I'm going to take Mahomes to throw for 2 touchdown passes in this game. I'm also going to take an anytime touchdown for Kareem Hunt. If you want to use that same game parlay or maybe build your own for Chiefs and Bills, you can do so. All you need to do is visit FanDuel.com/CDOT to make every moment more this season. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after free. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Can help with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Hey investors, this is JD again with Crossroads Investment Lending. Still wanting to get in that fix and flip game? Don't have the money? Maybe you've always wanted to get yourself a rental property. We can help you get in the door. Call the fix and flip guys at Crossroads Investment Lending, 913-766-2900, or go to kclend.com. That's KCLEND.com. Get started in the fix and flip game. What are you waiting for? That's Crossroads Investment Lending, 913-766-2900 or kclend.com.
Many of us are looking forward to retirement. But when it's time to tap into your savings, do you know how long your money will last? Make a game plan for your retirement income distribution from UMB Private Wealth. They'll create a custom strategy for you to help make your hard-earned retirement savings last. Just go to umb.com/private wealth to schedule your personal appointment. That's umb.com/private wealth.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is again ranked #1 in the nation for cancer care by U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals rankings. Our physicians treat more types of cancers in a day than many see in their whole career. This unmatched depth of expertise, combined with our groundbreaking discoveries, gives our patients access to the most innovative treatment options. Learn more at mdanderson.org.
Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City, now open. Dine on mouth-watering appetizers, then feast on one of our 6 American Wagyu burgers, including the Bacon Jam Burger and Blazing Burger. Wash it down with your favorite ice-cold beverage, all while watching the game on one of our 45 TVs. Dine in or carry out. Brew Brothers at Harris, Kansas City always hits the spot. Brew Brothers and Brew Brothers Express are now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-888-BETS-OFF.
Hi, it's Derek Johnson, and I know there's nothing better than being part of a team. A group of great people you can count on and learn from. The Sheet Metalworkers, local #2, are growing their team and looking for quality men and women who want to build Kansas City's future. While you're making KC a better place, you'll also get great pay and benefits while gaining lifelong skills. Explore the possibilities at sheetmetal2.org. That's sheetmetal2.org. And take a step towards a fulfilling and rewarding way of life.
Chiefs coverage is brought to you by Comfort Systems Heating and Cooling, serving all of KC.
From maintenance to emergency repairs, Comfort Systems Heating and Cooling will keep you warm when it matters most. Contact us today and stay cozy all season long. Comforting people is what we do. Comfort Systems is right for you. mycomfortsystems.com.
You're listening to the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your new home for Chiefs football. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. He's been in the locker room since 2018 and has seen the Chiefs make the AFC title game every year. Coincidence? Who knows? But no one is more plugged into your Chiefs than Nate Taylor of The Athletic.
I know the Chiefs are probably calling teams to be like, hey, 6th-round pick, and I don't know if anybody's going to bite on that sort of trade offer.
And he joins CDOT every Friday at 4, right here on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
We are very happy right now to be joined in studio by Nate Taylor of The Athletic. His appearance on The Drive is presented by Mark Ferguson. We all make mistakes. Let Mark and his legal team make the best of them. Give them a call at 816-221-1750. All right, Nate, let me tell you what I think are the 2 biggest keys to this game. Let's start with the Kansas City Chiefs perspective. Something changed with the Chiefs after the loss against the Las Vegas Raiders last year, and they have really just locked in on what their formula is. They really committed to giving Isaiah Pacheco the ball. They started to pare down the wide receiver room, and they really started to go to their top 3 or 4 offensive players. Now, that has changed a little bit for Kansas City, but their formula is simple. Give the ball to Kareem Hunt, get the ball in the middle of the field to Travis Kelce, let D-Hop work, play good defense, repeat win. They do that every single week. For the Buffalo Bills, I think their keys are kind of simple. They've had Kansas City down a couple of times and let them up, whether it was the 13 seconds where Kansas City goes down the field. They had the ball 1st and 10 from the Kansas City 27-yard line in the playoff game and then kicked a 44-yard field goal, which they missed, and then they lost the game. Finish the job if you're Buffalo. If you get Kansas City down, nobody keeps the Chiefs down. They always do something to give the Chiefs just one last chance to beat you, and then the Chiefs take that opportunity to beat you. So for Kansas City, to me, it's just keep doing what you do. Play Kansas City Chiefs football. And for Buffalo, it's just you're going to be in a position where you can beat Kansas City. Can you actually walk through the door and finally do it?
They need to walk through the door. They must walk through the door. I'd argue their whole season has been built on walking through that door because for the Chiefs, this game is important. Yes, I'm sure everybody knows, for playoff seeding, for obviously staying undefeated. You know, the sooner you get the 1 seed, the sooner you can start resting guys, which will obviously be important. This game is paramount to the Buffalo Bills. Carrington, they have to do whatever is necessary to win this game. And I hate it when we as reporters or analysts, just anyone in the media landscape says, you know, kitchen sink game, got to throw everything. I don't love the idea of like somewhere in the middle of the season, it's like, well, now this is a must-win game. But psychologically, I feel like it really is. Because based on everything you laid out, the Bills are a worthy rival to the Chiefs in the AFC, similar to the Baltimore Ravens. But the Bills have a longer history, and Josh Allen is playing really, really well. And don't let them get a chance to walk you down, to chase you, to run past you before the finish line. So I am extremely excited about this game, as I'm sure everybody else is. But at the same time, I just want to make it very clear that, like, for the rivalry to continue and to keep elevating, the Bills need to play well. They need to win this game. They are not as healthy as I think they would have wanted, but at the same time, the Chiefs know who they are. I'm interested to see what this version of Buffalo is in person, and if Josh Allen can do what Patrick Mahomes has done so many times, which is, hey, I know the circumstances. I know it's not the most advantageous situation, but I'm going to find a way to win and galvanize my team behind me. So this game is more important for Buffalo, but I don't have any fear about how the Chiefs are going to come to play on Sunday based off the experience they just lived through last week against the Denver Broncos.
I think this is the Chiefs' most important regular season game since the first time they beat the New England Patriots. You remember.
Really?
They
Wow.
lost to the New England Patriots in the regular season.
Yep.
They then lost in the postseason.
Yep.
And then that year that they get their first championship ring, I think it was really important for them to kind of take that next step where, all right, we finally did it. We can beat the team that
Yes.
everybody says is at the top of it.
Right.
Now, this is different and more important, or I guess this is important in a different kind of way.
Yes.
But when you think of the swing, this game is worth 3. In the sense of where you are in the tiebreaker standings. If you win this game, you are up 4 with 7 to go.
Crazy.
Buffalo has absolutely no chance of being the 1 seed if they
Right.
lose this game.
Correct.
If Kansas City loses this game, you're only up 1 with 7 games to go, and then anything can happen.
Yes.
So just in terms of just one individual game and the weight that it carries, I don't think that he has played a regular season game that has that much importance since that Patriots game I mentioned.
Wow. And that Patriots game was a clear sign of, one team is still rising while another one is trying to maintain, in the in the twilight of a 20-year run. And the Chiefs did everything necessary in the fourth quarter to win that game. Patrick didn't play amazing that game. I want to remind people in 2019. But he got the job done. He completed the passes that were necessary in the second half. For this particular Chiefs team, I think they win this game on one reason and one reason only. Is Wanya Morris going to play the entire game? Because if Wanya Morris plays the entire game, Carrington, I think the Chiefs can run the ball. I know Patrick Mahomes can convert on third down. Every statistic, metric tells you that. So can the Buffalo Bills get pressure with 4? Can they get pressure on the backside at the left tackle position? That has been the weakest spot of the Chiefs' offensive line. But if you guarantee me that Patrick's going to be upright for all 60 minutes, that he's not going to take on some crazy run of hurries or hits or sacks where, drives are just, destroyed before they really can get started, I know what the offense can do. I know that an argument can be made that the Chiefs got the better player in the trade, whether you want to say Amari Cooper or DeAndre Hopkins. The Buffalo Bills have never been able to cover Travis Kelce. So if you just keep Patrick in a position where he can deliver the ball, whether that's first down to Xavier Worthy on a deep shot, whether that's third down with him having the ability to use his legs to scramble, this is how the Chiefs win this game. And I just think the biggest weakness right now is, based on Wanya Morris's right knee injury, he got through this week of practice. Can he hold up against Gregory Rousseau, Von Miller, whoever is the one that is, across from him on certain important downs? Because if that happens, I think the Chiefs will probably win this game because I still think they have the better coaching staff. They still have the better quarterback. And when you give the quarterback time, he's going to lead you on gotta-have-it drives. And that's one of the best parts of this rivalry is there are so many compelling moments where you could look at both Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and say, hey, man, there was this much time on the clock. This was the scoreboard. You had to go down and get a touchdown. I think the only thing that can disrupt the Chiefs from doing that is Gregory Rousseau or Von Miller creating so much pressure on Patrick that he can't operate the way we're used to watching him.
I want you to think about this during the commercial break. It is 2 minutes left in the game, and the ball is at the 25-yard line. Do you feel more comfortable with the defense taking the field to stop Josh Allen, or do you feel more comfortable with the Chiefs' offense trying to go down the field and score a touchdown? I want to get your thoughts on that. I want to get where we are with Juju Smith-Schuster and his help. Who's going to be the bigger loss for Buffalo, Keon Coleman or Dalton Kincaid? There's a lot to break down with this game. We got Nate Taylor in studio. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
You guys already know what my plan is tonight. I plan on watching the fight, and I plan on doing it with a great pizza from my friends over at The Other Place. It's Carrington here telling you to stop by The Other Place, your game day headquarters. All right, maybe you're not watching the fight. Maybe you're getting ready for Sunday's matchup between Kansas City and Buffalo. We'll stop in because they have incredible game day specials. They got a 14-inch two-topping pizza for $12. They got $12 you can get 8 wings in a basket of tots. You can get a $4 beer, a $4 domestic. It's the next best thing to being at the stadium, and since Kansas City is on the road, it's the best game day atmosphere that you're going to get with amazing specials. They've been making 25 years of some of the best pizza in town, so go stop by any one of the 5 area locations. For your game day needs, be sure to stop by The Other Place.
Whether you're digging a pond, clearing brush, grading property, or doing demo, Foley Equipment, your local Caterpillar dealer, is your one-stop shop. Buy or rent, Foley Equipment has the machines you need to get the job done. And right now, Foley has 0% financing for 48 months on new cat skid steers, mini excavators, and compact track loaders. Stop by any Foley Equipment location today or visit us at FoleyEQ.com. That's FoleyEQ.com.
You can find out what your home is worth in a matter of seconds by a true market expert. Go to homesforsaleInKC.com and click the button, How Much Is Your Home Really Worth? My friend Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty, can help. If you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold, contact them to discuss their instant offer program. Contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team. Google Sharp Homes team or visit them at homesforsaleandkc.com and start packing.
Chiefs Kingdom. Hy-Vee has red-hot news. We're doubling down. Shop Hy-Vee the day after this week's Chiefs game and earn a fuel discount that's double the Chiefs score. This Monday only, score double the savings. That's right, double the fuel savings based on the amount you spend. If the Chiefs score 28 points on Sunday, you save 56 cents a gallon with any $56 purchase. The higher the score, the more you save. Win or lose on Sunday, score double the savings on Monday only at Hy-Vee. Offer good in-store and online. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
The only thing better than Thanksgiving is letting Hy-Vee take care of all of the cooking. Hy-Vee has convenient pre-made holiday meal packs for any size gathering. They have succulent turkey, honey glazed spiral ham or prime rib. Plus, they've got all of your savory sides, rolls, and your choice of dessert. And don't forget the wine and spirits department at Hy-Vee. So pick up your meal the day before the holiday and then just heat and serve on Thanksgiving Day. This holiday season, let Hy-Vee do the cooking while you take all the credit and give thanks to my friends only at Hy-Vee.
The election is finally over. Now you can get the cash you need. Imagine what you could do with $50,000. Pay off credit cards, do home improvements, or even pay off auto loans. Golden Oak's mortgage rate is 5.25%. There's no out-of-pocket costs, so call today and make no payments until next year. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
6.19 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Lowe's honors our military community this Veterans Day and every day. To say thank you, verified military members, veterans, and their spouses get 10% off everyday purchases, plus free silver key status with My Lowe's Rewards. It's our way of showing our gratitude to the brave people who have and continue to serve our country. Learn more now at lowes.com/military. 10% discount can't be combined with another offer. Exclusions, terms, and conditions apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
I'm McCall with Lisa Mitsuber, and our hotline is open. Annie from Kansas City, what's on your mind?
I want a dealership that I can trust for a lifetime. Is that you?
We're Google's highest review-rated and only locally owned Subaru retailer in Kansas City. That's a good start.
I just want a great deal. That's all.
How about 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models? That'll get you a low monthly payment. Fall in love with driving again at Lisa Mitsubaru.
Google highest review-rated Subaru retailer in Kansas City based on 2023 Google Analytics.
Hi, I'm Kim Myers, owner of Top Notch Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. This is the time of year we see more clogged drains, leaky hot water heaters, and furnaces that may not make it through the winter. That's why we have these top-notch offers for you. Check out topnotchheatingandair.com for a $79 drain clearing special, 20% off water heaters, and if you need to replace that old furnace, Top Notch will save you $2,000 on any Daikin system. We're proud of our Google ratings and invite you to read our customer reviews at topnotchheatingandair.com. Thanks, and have a top-notch day.
Lowe's knows you want to get even more value for the holiday. That's why as a My Lowe's Rewards member, you get new member deals on holiday decor, tools, and more. And you earn points when you shop. More points equal more rewards to help you save on holiday and more. Not a member? Join for free today at lowes.com/MyLowe'sRewards because Lowe's knows deals. Program subject to terms and conditions. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. See lowes.com/terms for full details. Subject to change.
Shop Dell Technologies Black Friday event for their lowest prices of the year. The future is on sale today with limited time deals on select PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. Black Friday is their biggest sale of the year and the best time to upgrade, but it's only here for a limited time. Shop now at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This traffic is brought to you by Park and Go, your top choice for all covered airport parking. Got the exit closed coming out of downtown. That's eastbound 70 at Prospect. And a crash in the triangle northbound 435 just past 71. This is closing 2 left lanes. Tackle your airport parking needs at Park and Go. Always the best service, always the best price. Open 24/7, fast and free shuttle services. All spots are covered. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. Park and Go, family owned and operated. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Chiefs fans, it's Rashee Rice. Welcome to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, welcome back in. We got Nate Taylor here. His appearances brought to you by Mark Ferguson. Go hit him up in his legal team. All right, this is the first question I'll ask you in this segment. It is 2 minutes left in the game. The ball is at the 25-yard line. A touchback has just happened. Do you feel more confident with the defense taking the field, trying to keep Josh Allen out of the end zone, or do you feel more confident with Patrick Mahomes taking the field and the Chiefs needing a touchdown to go win the game?
First off, I love this question. Everybody knows what the answer should be. It should, all right, give the ball to the $500 million quarterback. Nah, baby. Nah, that's not what I want to see. I want to see the Chiefs defense. I would pick the Chiefs defense because Chris Jones is over there. Trent McDuffie's over there. You have Leo Chenal and Nick Bolton and Drew Tranquil. Yes, I think it'll still be Najee Johnson at the other cornerback spot. So that might be like, maybe a matchup that you can exploit. But again, it's going to be tough with no Keon Coleman and Amari Cooper, obviously playing through the injury that he has on his wrist, the cast that he's wearing. So I love watching Chris Jones in a similar situation where, okay, to your scenario, for the next 2 minutes, all I get to do is rush the passer. Like, I don't have to worry a ton about the run, maybe in like short yardage situations, but now I can find one-on-one matchups. I can collapse the pocket. I can go from the right tackle one play to the left guard the next play, to pressuring Josh Allen, to maybe forcing him to make a decision quickly in a manner that he doesn't want. We watched it last year. You mentioned it, in the last segment about them being like, okay, we're only down 3. We'll kick the field goal. It's windy in Buffalo. I think people need to remember that too, especially for, the Chiefs' new kicker with Harrison Butker not available. It's windier in Buffalo than it is in most other places outside of like Pittsburgh. So I'll take the Chiefs defense just because Chris Jones is usually the Chiefs closer on defense. And if you give me a scenario where they have to get a stop, what in the hell is Steve Spagnuolo going to cook up on a third down with some blitz that whether he's waited all season to run or all game to run, in some ways I find that more compelling because I've just seen Mahomes systematically just matriculate the ball down the field no matter what the other side is trying to do.
Let's get your thoughts on a couple of injury issues I think that has happened. So let's start with Juju, and then we'll get to Harrison Butker here coming up in a bit. Do you think that Juju's going to play on Sunday? Because it certainly sounds like it is trending in that direction. Yes. We know no Pacheco. We know no Charles Omenihu. You were expecting Juju to play. Yes, I'm expecting him to play. That's kind of been the plan all along. From my understanding is that, again, if he got through this week of practice, he was going to be ready to go. If you need to be reminded, it's a right hamstring, not the left hamstring. So just keep that in mind when you're watching the game on Sunday. But they need another outlet. There's going to be times, and I think in an interesting way, there's going to be times where you can run trips on one side of the field where it's, Juju Smith-Schuster, DeAndre Hopkins, and Xavier Worthy, and then on the opposite side of the formation is Travis Kelce. Or you could, inverse that however you want to do. But now they have 4 legitimate, top-of-the-line pass catchers. Everybody knows the playbook. Xavier Worthy's still your deep threat. And if Juju Smith-Schuster gives you 4 catches for, handful of yards, but 2 of them are on third down and it
converts the drive, then he will have done his part.
Right now, we're talking to Nate Taylor, learning a little bit more about the injury situation right now with the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, we learned a little bit more about Juju. Let's get to Harrison Butker. I don't know if anybody has the answer to this question without seeing it. I would say that Andy is pretty conservative when it comes to aggressiveness on fourth down. The Chiefs are usually on team take the points.
Yep.
I am going to be very intrigued to know if you have the opportunity to go for it on 4th and 2 or kick a 51-yard field goal, what are you going to do? With Harrison Butker, I think we know that they usually would kick the field goal and feel pretty good about points being on the board.
Yes.
I don't know if you can feel that way with this kicker. He just doesn't have a whole lot of experience. Kicking last week against Arizona in a blowout is a lot different than kicking against Buffalo in a very important game for your team. So what are you expecting from the new kicker that they have? And are you confident that this Harrison Butker issue is just a 3-4 weeks? He's going to be back. He's going to be fully healthy for the postseason.
My understanding is that the Chiefs hope that Harrison Butker is fully healthy by Christmas Day when they play the Pittsburgh Steelers. That could also be the last game where you see most of the starters if the Chiefs need that game to win to ensure themselves the 1 seed in the AFC. It's been bothering him for a while. Andy Reid said obviously the injury got worse in practice this week. So, hey, we need you for January and February. So go ahead and take the procedure now. He had surgery today. And with the new kicker, I wonder if Andy Reid will give Schrader maybe one opportunity in the first half just to kind of see what it's like. So if it's a 48-yard field goal, I think Andy will sort of play on what the result of that decision is. Like, okay, we let you get through your pregame warm-up. We think you're good from, let's say, 50 and in. You don't have a ton of experience, but hey, you're in the NFL for a reason. So if it's a 48-yard field goal in the early second quarter, we're going to kick the field goal. Whether you make it or not kind of depends on my gut feeling in the third and obviously the fourth quarter if we're in a similar territory and it's like 4th and 4. So I think that's how Andy Reid will most likely play it. And again, if you are, say, tied with 2 minutes to go, or if Patrick and the Chiefs are down 1 in the last second drive, you might want to get those extra 10 yards versus just settling on whatever the, projected line is on the screen for CBS. Like, oh, well, this is where we think he can, make a game-winning field goal. No. Get 15, get 10 more yards. Give yourself more of an insurance that that Schrader can make that field goal. But if he misses the first field goal, and it is in that 40 to 45-yard range, okay, we need to get ready for 2-point conversions and 4th down plays moving forward.
Yeah, I don't think, and maybe I'm just projecting here with kickers, but in a game of this magnitude, we're talking about this is a life-changing situation for this young man, right?
Yes.
You were on a practice squad. You kicked last week. You impressed the Chiefs enough for them to go grab you off the practice squad, and now you were on the team.
Yep.
And you were going to be the Chiefs kicker for the next 3-4 weeks. You have no chance of winning the job. He might do everything the Chiefs want him to do, but they are going to replace him, right? At some point before the end of the season.
Yes.
So you're not just playing for the Chiefs. This is an audition for the rest of the league. If you miss that first field goal from 47 yards, I don't know if they're giving you another opportunity to kick on Sunday in that game. So you want to talk about pressure. There might not be another player in this game that has more pressure on them to perform on Sunday than this Schrader kid.
Yeah, and this ain't Notre Dame anymore, man. This is the NFL. It's going to be raucous in there. The only thing we're really missing from the game, Carrington, we talked about this earlier, this game could have been in like early December. I don't mind that it's in mid-November, like right before Thanksgiving, but it's not going to be like super duper cold. It's not going to be, it's still going to be windy, but it's not going to be like, you're not kicking a brick out there in the second half. So there's no snow. There's no projection of rain for Sunday's game as far as we can tell as of right now. It's going to be in the, low to mid 50s. So, okay, mostly optimum kicking conditions. So Spencer, please make the first one, because to your point, everybody's going to be watching this game. CBS and the NFL have told everyone that they could possibly tell, whether it's TV ads, obviously the discussion around the league, that, hey, you're going to be on your couch at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and everybody's going to be watching this game. Like, even Red Zone's going to cut in more to this game than they normally would at any other point earlier this season. There's a reason why CBS is sending their own, pregame crew to Western New York to really make this game feel almost like a playoff game. This game, in a weird way, is like an AFC divisional round or championship type of game. So Spencer Schrader, please make the first kick, because to your point, Carrington, if he performs well and the Chiefs win, hey, you're one of the top free agents at your position for next offseason.
I mean, next year, if he has a good 3-4 weeks with the Chiefs, he will be a kicker next year in the National Football League.
Correct.
Someone is going to have them on their roster. We saw you. You were reliable. You kicked well in some high-pressure situations. We want you to be the kicker for the team. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is a life-changing opportunity for him if he goes and he balls out. Let me ask you this question, injury-related.
Yeah.
True or false? Isaiah Pacheco and Charles Omenihu play before December.
Yes. I know Charles Omenihu wants to play next week, and that will be up to Andy Reid.
I'm not playing anybody against Carolina. I'm not playing anybody. I'm not playing Isaiah Pacheco against Carolina. I'm not playing any of them.
You want them Carson Steele snaps?
Raiders, okay, fine.
Okay.
You got
Black Friday.
You got a game in the division, fine. I'm rushing you back so you can play against Carolina?
I think here's what, if I was Charles Omenihu, here's what I would say. Coach, I need to get, I've been waiting this long. The rehab's gone well. I practiced all this week, all last week. Just give me like 15 snaps. Just let me get my feet up under me. Let me see, obviously this is, you don't want to, I don't want to say this, but like, you kind of treat it like a preseason game. Like, let me get some, let me get some sweat. Let me get some burn. Let me get some third down rushes. Let me see if I can, just work on some pass rushing moves just to get in a rhythm. And hey, if we up whatever in the second half, then yeah, just sit me down like it's a preseason game. But I know Omenihu is like dying to get on the field next week. And for Pacheco, there might be a better understanding of like, hey, how's Kareem doing? If Kareem needs more of a break, based on the amount of carries and the touches he's been given since he joined the team in your absence, I should say, then yeah, we might want to play you against Carolina again for similar reasons. But if Kareem can take much of the bulk, if you still have Carson Steele, who you want to give more experience to because he's a rookie, then okay, that's fine. Then you save him for the Raiders on a short week on Black Friday. So I understand that. But I do think they will play before December.
Who comes back, Harrison Butker or Hollywood Brown?
Both.
Wow.
Yeah, I think both. Harrison Butker is, I would say, obviously the higher percentage player to come back. And he needs, again, I think this is why I've circled it on the calendar. The reason why I say Harrison Butker likely is going to come back and likely needs to come back by Christmas is because he needs a couple games in, again, much different conditions, cold weather, windy, to get into a groove himself, to make sure that, everything goes fine from a kicking operation execution before, the season's literally on the line, in whatever divisional game. So obviously he would kick against the Steelers on Christmas Day. The Broncos, as of right now, is scheduled for January 5th. We'll see what the NFL does with that schedule because that game might be more important for Denver to get into the playoffs than obviously the Chiefs. With Hollywood Brown, I think the Chiefs will give him every opportunity possible to come back if he can get through practice, if there's no real setback. Obviously, it's a freak injury because it's the shoulder. It's a contact sport. You're going to get hit. We know that Tyreek came back with a very similar issue earlier in the season. He did not need surgery to fully repair it. But, again, kind of in that similar window, can you be practicing with the team by the time the Chiefs are preparing to play the Houston Texans on December 21st, to where we might get you on the field in a very limited role on Christmas Day against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then if we want to see a little bit more of you, whether that's with Carson Wentz or with Patrick, more likely Carson Wentz at this point, then, hey, you can run routes against the Denver Broncos, get a full game in. Now we know exactly what we want to do to polish your role in the offense ahead of the postseason. So my understanding is the rehab's gone well for Hollywood Brown, that he is determined to come back, and that the Chiefs, understanding the circumstances and the fact that he's obviously talented, you probably want to give that player an opportunity because he's going to be a free agent next season, but he also wants to demonstrate to the team that he's on right now that he can obviously return next year with the team and obviously be a, important part of the offense.
Right now, we're joined in studio by Nate Taylor of The Athletic. Coming up in a bit, we'll give you a chance to win our final pizza of the week, 913-586-7965. I'll let you know what you need to do to get that. I am curious to get your thoughts on who you think the X factor could be. The last time that these two teams played each other, MVS had 2 catches for 62 yards. He had 2 big pass plays. That was a significant difference in the game. Of course, you had Isaiah Pacheco, Rashee Rice, and Travis Kelce, but you had that other offensive player to kind of give you a little bit of a boost. Who do you think that could possibly be in this game? Rob thinks that it could be Noah Gray. I have Xavier Worthy. They've been real close these last couple of weeks.
Yep.
They should have had the long completion against Tampa Bay. It is not his fault that it was an incompletion last week against the Broncos. Pat just threw the ball out of bounds. He didn't even give Xavier Worthy a chance to make a play in that scenario. They've been really close, and you and I have watched enough NFL to know that CBS already has the package together of how Buffalo traded him to. You can already see after he has a big pass play for 20 yards that they're going to tell the story that we already know. So that's who I have. I have Xavier Worthy. Who do you have as the X factor on Sunday?
I agree. Xavier Worthy. This is it, man. This is just like opening night, right? This was back when everybody was mostly healthy. So, what the Chiefs showed the Baltimore Ravens was like, hey, man, and the rest of the league. Everybody was watching. Of course, it was the only game on for opening night. Hey, guess what, kids? We back. Here's, hilariously elite speed. Here's some deep completions. Patrick Mahomes is going to be throwing the ball downfield more. Look, we still got a very good offensive line, right? So that game was pretty clear to me that, we want to show off our new toy. And now, after a little bit of struggle, which is totally normal in a rookie season, I don't even remember what Justin Jefferson did in his rookie season, but I'm sure at some point in the October, November weeks, it was he's got to, people are adjusting to him. He's got to learn. He's got to get, he's got to break through some of the struggles that you have as a young professional.
Rob, Nate, we have a circle of trust that we do on this show. Rob has removed Xavier Worthy from the circle of trust. I still have him inside the circle of trust.
Hey,
is he inside your circle of trust?
Yes, you got to give him this week. Hey, they didn't want you. They let us trade for you.
So you're saying that he's on the cusp of being kicked out of the Nate Taylor circle of trust.
I just want to see one more week.
Okay, one more week.
Let's see one more week.
What if he's 2 for 22 on Sunday?
That ain't it, kid. That ain't it. And so I know I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, y'all. I'm like, hey, it's hard being a rookie. The season's much longer. Give him some leeway. Hey, son, we don't need 2 for 22. We can't work with that.
This is the analogy that I made, and I want to run it by you. This is the analogy that I made.
Yes.
I am not concerned with his batting average this year. How many home runs do you hit? He was never a guy that I thought was going to be 5 for 60.
Oh, for sure.
Can he be 2 for 45?
Please.
And have one big pass play that kind of changes the course of the game? Because in the last, 6 weeks, since that big catch against the Chargers, he has not had an impact on whether they win or lose. He has 90 receiving yards, and he has -2 rushing yards in the last 5 games. So he has just not been a significant factor. At some point, he's just going to hit another home run. Could it be Sunday against Buffalo?
I think it is. I think they're going to have some play designed to where they're going to find a matchup. And look, it's not like Buffalo has some amazing secondary, okay? They have a good defense. They largely have a good front seven, even without Matt Milano, who, has been obviously one of their best defensive players over the course of this rivalry. But look, like Xavier Worthy can run by anybody on the secondary line for the Buffalo Bills. So now it's about protection, of course, in windy conditions. Can Patrick deliver the ball to where he can go run after it and sort of track it on his own? This is the perfect opportunity. Like, you got to remind your contender that they let you do this, that they let you get away with this. So, hey, Damar Hamlin, it's amazing that you're on the field. Congratulations.
Don't run any more fake punts.
Well, that too.
They ran a fake punt in the fourth quarter to Damar Hamlin. You deserve to lose.
Of course. I mean, Christian Benford's better. I mean, Taylor Rapp, you tell me Taylor Rapp and Damar Hamlin are your safeties. Yeah, man, we got to go over the top 4 times. And one of them got a pop. So Damar Hamlin is a good football player, a inspirational football player, a person that is remarkable and an example of courage, perseverance, and dedication to the game. He cannot keep up with Xavier Worthy. So if Tyler Rapp and Damar Hamlin are worried about Travis Kelce, maybe Juju Smith-Schuster coming across the middle, who knows what DeAndre Hopkins is doing on the opposite side of the field on the outside, then yeah, this is the game where I need to see it, whether it's, again, to your point, similar to the Chargers game where Patrick just said, I'm going to throw it up 60 yards and let you run under it. Or whether they want to use that speed kind of like against the Ravens where, like, hey, it's an end around, let you get on the edge, let you just run by people. This would be a great opportunity to see it because Rasul Douglas is their best defensive back, and I think based on his profile and DeAndre Hopkins, that is who he will likely be with. Tyron Johnson is their nickel corner. I can see some couple matchups there, but really it's about can you get past the second level, and that is Taylor Rapp and Damar Hamlin. These are not the same guys that Tyreek Hill blew past in the divisional round a couple years ago when they had some of the best safeties in the league. They're getting away with it because AJ Epinesa is good. Von Miller is obviously who he is, and Gregory Rousseau and Ed Oliver are just eating the line of scrimmage. So yeah, they need that 4-2 speed on Sunday.
We got Nate Taylor from The Athletic here. We're going to give you one final chance to win a pizza, 913-586-7965. We need one caller. Please do not embarrass us. We got company here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here for our new friends over at Heartland's Men's Health. I recently learned something. Did you know that half of the men over the age of 50 experience erectile dysfunction? It also can affect younger men. ED isn't just a medical issue. It can take a toll on your confidence and your relationships. And over at Heartland Men's Health, they believe that ED is treatable, and their expert team offers up solutions with a success rate that's over 90%. You can enjoy intimacy without the anxiety. Take back control. And for just $99, your initial visit includes a medical consultation, test, and even a test dose. And if it doesn't work, your visit is on the house. It's totally free. Men are getting back to enjoying a vibrant sex life just one day after their appointment with my friends over at Heartland's Men's Health, and that's what I want for you. Go stop by any one of the 3 area locations, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City. Don't settle. Pick up the phone and call my friend at Heartland's Men's Health at 844-447-6600 or check out heartlandmenshealth.com. Get your life back today.
Here's another great reason to use the United States Postal Service this season. When sending a package, why venture outside? Ship with USPS for a true holiday ride. Want to stay cozy and warm? There's no need to roam. With free package pickup and labels printed from home. We have over 600,000 employees always in motion. And before you know it, your gift has delivered emotion. Spread the holiday joy this season with USPS's enhanced network. Learn more at USPS.com/holidayride.
Good business owners believe two things. You have to provide what the customers want, and you have to keep the fire marshal happy. Pleasing the customer can be tough, but pleasing the fire marshal is easy. Keller Fire and Safety has been doing it for more than 70 years. Fire extinguishers, alarm systems, fire detection, kitchen hood suppression systems. Keller handles all of these so you can focus on business.
Keeping the fire marshal happy
Since 1950.
Keller Fire and Safety.
KellerFire.com.
The difference between real custom jewelry at House of Diamonds and so-called custom jewelry elsewhere is like the difference between painting on a blank canvas versus paint by numbers. This is Gene at House of Diamonds. In our store, you don't pick from a collection of designs. Choose from a list of options. Send it off to who knows where for 6 weeks to be tweaked and call it custom. At House of Diamonds, you and we together design and create a one-of-a-kind custom ring, pendant, earrings, or necklace. And since 100% of the work from start to finish is done right here in our shop, we can deliver real custom jewelry and can back it with a double lifetime warranty instead of a disclaimer. One-of-a-kind, real custom jewelry, handcrafted just for you, only at House of Diamonds. House of Diamonds on the southeast corner of College and Quivira. And online at mybigrock.com.
Hey investors, this is JD again with Crossroads Investment Lending. Still wanting to get into that fix and flip game? Don't have the money? Maybe you've always wanted to get yourself a rental property. We can help you get in the door. Call the fix and flip guys at Crossroads Investment Lending, 913-766-2900, or go to kclend.com. That's kclend.com. Get started in the fix and flip game. What are you waiting for? That's Crossroads Investment Lending, 913-766-2900 or kclend.com.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Sean Barber. You know there's nothing easier than to enjoy watching the Chiefs with some wings and an ice-cold Bud Light. Join me at Buffalo Wild Wings off 152 in North Flintlock Road in KC Mo, Friday, November 15th. I'll be there from 6 to 8 p.m. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
No collisions to report across the metro, but we are seeing some heavy traffic southbound 71. Begins right at MLK, eases up at East Gregory. Eastbound 70 looking heavy out of 435 and also into downtown via northbound 35. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
Chiefs fans, it's George Karlaftis. Welcome to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
All right, Nate Taylor, we were here last week when our company, they embarrassed themselves a little bit. You remember, we played the game. How many Broncos starting quarterbacks could you name? Nobody could name any. We're going to try to play this game one more time. We are going to go from Jim Kelly's last start to Josh Allen's first start.
Whoa!
There are 19 quarterbacks in the middle between Jim Kelly and Josh Allen.
Oh, I know my favorite one already.
Cody, we are going to give you 30 seconds. The rules are very simple. Cody, you are going up against another Cody, Cody Tapp. If you get as many or more than Cody Tapp, will give you a pizza from our friends over at the other place. If not, we will hang up on you and we will give your pizza to somebody on the text line. Cody, do you understand the rules from Jim Kelly to Josh Allen?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're gonna put 30 seconds on the board. All right, Rob. On your mark, get set, go.
Doug Flutie. Fitzmagic.
Yes.
Tyrod Taylor.
Yes.
Case Keenum.
I think no. Sorry.
No, Case Keenum wasn't.
No, he was not.
No, he wasn't. I'm sorry.
Oh man. Did I turn that down already? All right.
All right, we'll put you on hold here. You got 3 quarterbacks, 3 out of the 19. Let's see if Cody Tapp does a little bit better. If he doesn't, we'll hang up on you, Cody on the phone, and we will give the pizza to somebody on the text line. Let's hear if Cody Tapp knows his Buffalo Bills quarterbacks.
JP Lossman.
Wow.
Taylor. I mean, those are at least 2 of the guys who started.
JP.
God, can I even name another Bills quarterback? Kyle Orton get a start there or something? Feels like he got to start with every team in the league. God, who else? Who's the quarterback? I don't know. I don't know that I know any others besides him. That might just be the 2. I think this guy's going to win.
All right.
I got him at 3 because Kyle Orton did. He didn't know it, but Kyle
Orton did start for the Buffalo Bills. We have a tie. Tie goes to the runner. Cody on the phone. You are the winner of Jim Kelly to Josh Allen. There are way too many quarterbacks to name here. A couple of them, Matt Barkley. Also got a start. Nathan Peterman got a start for them. Remember, E.J. Manuel got a start. Trent Edwards. Remember Trent Edwards from Stanford? He also got a start for them. One of my favorites, Alex Van Pelt. Van Pelt was one of those quarterbacks that started for the Buffalo Bills. It was dark times is what it was. Dark times.
Can I remind you? I'm going to look at the box score just to make sure. Ooh, buddy, yeah. The date, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot believe this was November 19th, 2017. They said, hey, Tyrod, we trying to make the playoffs, son. Come over here. Let's put Nathan Peterman in the game. C-Dot, he threw 5 interceptions in a game.
He did.
He had 6 completions, 5 interceptions.
He's the worst quarterback I've ever seen. Nathan Peterman's the worst quarterback we've ever seen. I do want to ask you a Josh Allen question. If I set the over-under on Super Bowl appearances for Josh Allen at 1.5, are you taking the over or the under? Does Josh Allen make at least 2 Super Bowls in his career?
No.
Wow, you're taking the under.
I'm taking the under.
Is there any quarterback currently in the league that you would take 2?
Yes. Not named Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
We're assuming. I just want to remind people, Josh Allen is 28 years old. He's at the peak of his powers. He plays a game somewhat similar to Cam Newton. He be taking them hits, y'all.
He's not playing until he's 40. Not like this.
Not like this.
Yeah, like this.
So I want him to cash in on one of these opportunities. So I will give him the benefit of the doubt that he will at least lead the Buffalo Bills to 1 Super Bowl. Getting to 2 is really hard because you're obviously in the same era as Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, who people have started to forgotten, but I ain't forgot because he has a legitimate coach now, and they're going to start to give him weapons. And, Joe Burrow, I mean, it's a gauntlet in the AFC. I haven't even mentioned C.J. Stroud. So it's tough. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger would in some ways be one of the examples. I know Chris Jones sort of said that to us yesterday, like he's a more, he's a more new and improved version of Ben Roethlisberger. But, Ben got to the Super Bowl, 3 times? He won 2 of them. It was a 2011 Super Bowl, I believe. They lost to the Green Bay Packers. So that might be the peak of what Josh Allen could replicate as far as being a Hall of Fame level quarterback who can hopefully, maybe, Lord willingly, give the Buffalo Bills their first ever Super Bowl win. But it's tough, man, because Patrick Mahomes is, 29, 30?
And he's certainly going to age a lot more gracefully than what we think Josh Allen is.
It's not great. I mean, hey, man, Everybody you don't want to be Reggie Miller. You don't want to be, Patrick Ewing. You don't want to be Charles Barkley. But man, sometimes you're just in the wrong era.
I'll get you out of here with this, Nate. Give me one key for a Buffalo win. Give me one key for a Chiefs win.
For Buffalo, as I said earlier, they need to sack Patrick just as many times as the Denver Broncos did, which I believe was, 4? I can double check that. But they need to hit and sack Patrick the same amount of times the Broncos did the week before, obviously.
You know what? Let me actually cut you off. Let me ask you this. I guess I'll ask you this instead. Let me ask you this. Let's say that Wanya Morris goes down with an injury in the middle of the first quarter. Are they putting Kingsley at left tackle, or are they moving Joe Thuney over to left tackle?
They will move Joe Thuney to left tackle. And then the question becomes, is Mike Caliendo, who has limited experience and is a veteran, but he's no Nick Allegretti, can Caliendo be serviceable at the left guard spot? Because for as much as people are pleading for Joe Thuney to go to left tackle if Wanya Morris goes down, guys, he's one of the best left guards in the league right now. He is like Hall of Fame, all-pro level player. So he can't necessarily be that at left tackle. He can be, stabilizing. But you're opening yourself up to be weak at 2 spots instead of having that one spot be a weakness and the coaching staff trying to scheme things around that. So we haven't seen Mike Caliendo this season. That's a credit to Joe Thuney and Trey Smith, but I do believe that we would not see Kingsley Suamataia in that situation.
That is our guy, Nate Taylor, joining us in studio, getting you ready for Chiefs and Bills on Sunday. Have a safe flight. Congratulations, man. Happy that you are joining us in studio. Look forward to breaking this game down with you next week whenever you join us in studio.
Yes.
Coming up on the other side, we will cover all things Chiefs and Bills in the 5 o'clock hour. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
No collisions to report across the metro, but we are seeing some heavy traffic southbound 71. Begins right at MLK, eases up at East Gregory. Eastbound 70 looking heavy out of 435 and also into downtown via northbound 35. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Football season is in full swing. Take full advantage by winning some cash with Sleeper Picks. Sleeper Picks is a fantasy game, but you could win real money. Just pick more or less than at least 2 of your favorite player stats. If you're right, you could win. You can pick up to 8 players to win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Sleeper has a special offer. New users will have their first deposit match up to $1,500. So if you deposit $1,500, they'll give you an extra $1,500 in credit. If you've already played, Sleeper's got discounted player projections every week of the season. Check in and see what they have this week. Download the Sleeper app now and use promo code SCORE, and your first deposit will be matched 100% up to $1,500 in credit. What are you waiting for? Download Sleeper today and unlock one of the fastest growing fantasy sports apps in the world. Use code SCORE for up to $1,500 credit match on your first deposit. That's code SCORE. Must be at least 18 years old in most states and in state where it is legal. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. See terms of use for details at sleeper.com. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help. Sponsored by Sleeper, a Blitz product.
Hey, it's Carrington here. Let me tell you guys about my friends over at Gates Barbecue. With 5 locations around town, you were never too far away from that classic taste. I know you guys saw the video by now. DeAndre Hopkins came into town. He was trying Kansas City barbecue, and he said the Gates Barbecue was the best barbecue he's ever had because it is. It's world famous. They've been doing it for 75 years. Go stop by Gates Barbecue because the menu has changed just a little bit. You can get the Gates Chicken Link on a hoagie bun. That's a new item. You also can get the new Burnt E Mac. So it's a little mac and cheese. They put a little burnt in on it. So you can get that one. Go stop by and get that. You also can get the split order. You can get the Gates fries, and you can also get the Gates onion rings. Dip it in the sauce a little bit. That's always one of my favorite things to do. It doesn't matter what your order is. It is the same great Gates taste at any of the Area 5 locations. Stop by and get yourself some wings. Stop by and get yourself some fish. Stop by and get yourself some ribs. Just make sure the next time that you want a little bit of barbecue or you got a taste for it, make sure that your barbecue plans include Gates Barbecue. It's a Red Friday on 96.5 The Fan, and the other place is your sports watching headquarters this fall. Now with 5 great area locations, Shawnee, Olathe, downtown Overland Park, Mission, and Belton. Enjoy Red Friday specials all day.
Tune in this week to Kickoff with Boomer and Valenti, where they break down all the headlines in the NFL. Presented by T-Mobile. Head to T-Mobile.com and get a great deal on the iPhone 16 Pro.
I'm Tiffany, founder of Harlem Pilates. When I couldn't find Pilates in my neighborhood, I started a studio from my studio apartment. Chase Inc. helped me grow from 1 Pilates studio to 3. Because when you start small, you're going to need some big help.
With the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food. No matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Hi, we're your friends who get super excited about the holidays.
We sure are, or this isn't the ugliest holiday sweater ever.
People think we're happy because we love peppermint lattes.
Or catching snowflakes on our tongues.
But really, it's because
it's Holiday Millionaire Raffle season!
It's your best odds to win $1 million.
That's dollars, not twinkling lights, but that would be great too.
Play the Kansas Lottery Holiday Millionaire Raffle. Get excited!
See kslottery.com for details.
Whether you're digging a pond, clearing brush, grading property, or doing demo, Foley Equipment, your local Caterpillar dealer, is your one-stop shop. Buy or rent, Foley Equipment has the machines you need to get the job done. And right now, Foley has 0% financing for 48 months on new cat skid steers, mini excavators, and compact track loaders. Stop by any Foley Equipment location today or visit us at FoleyEQ.com. That's FoleyEQ.com.
Chiefs coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by award-winning Johnny's Barbecue in Olathe.
Football and barbecue fans, score big with Johnny's Barbecue tailgate packages. Whether you're hosting a home gate or a tailgate, Johnny's Barbecue has you covered. Check out our tailgate packages at johnny'sbbqkc.com. Located in Olathe and serving all of KC. Johnny's Barbecue. Taste the smoke.
Listen to the Chiefs and Bills game on Sunday with pregame starting at noon. Kickoff at 3:25 with Mitch, Danon, and Kling. Right here on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. KFNC FM and AM. HD1 and HD2 Kansas City. An Odyssey Sports Station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here with you on this wonderful Red Friday. This is one of the most important regular season games that I can remember. For those of you that have not taken a look at the standings, the Chiefs can all but eliminate the Buffalo Bills with the win. If the Chiefs win this game, they will have a 4-game advantage against Buffalo down the stretch. If Buffalo wins this game, then they will be 1 game within Kansas City, and they will have the tiebreaker against the Chiefs. So I don't know if there has been a more important regular season game the last few years for Kansas City than this one in terms of the standings. It is the regular season. Both of these teams are going to make the postseason, but this is the difference in you being able to somewhat coast to the finish line as the 1 seed or you being in a legitimate race. I said this earlier to Nate Taylor. I'll say it again for the 5 o'clock audience that's just tuning in. I appreciate you guys listening. I think this is the most important Chiefs game since the first time they beat the New England Patriots. You remember in Mahomes' rookie year, I guess first season, however you want to put it, they lost to the Patriots twice. They lost in the regular season. They lost in the AFC Championship game. That next season, late in the year, if you remember, they played once again in Foxborough, and the Chiefs won that game. And I remember the boost that it really had. There was another game that the Chiefs had early on in their career, Rob. It was the Mexico game against the Los Angeles Chargers, where the Chiefs won that game, and it really catapulted that team the second half of the season. I don't think that this game has that kind of importance because the Chiefs are obviously in a very different place. They didn't have a championship in the game that I'm talking about. But when you're looking at the standings and what this game means, what a win would mean and what a loss would mean, I don't know if you can have a more important regular season game than the one that we are talking about. And that's why we can make this the de facto hit number one when we were talking about the field goal kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs and what that looks like. So Harrison Butker in his games against the Buffalo Bills, he is 14 of 16 from field goal range, and he is 20 of 22 from extra point. So he is as close to being automatic that you can be. My number one question about the Chiefs' offense in this game is going to be, how aggressive are they going to be, and what does that look like? The Chiefs, I would say, are kind of conservative in a lot of ways, where if it's the second quarter and they have a 4th and 2, or they could kick a 49-yard field goal or a 51-yard field goal, the Chiefs usually take the points in those scenarios. Are they going to be more aggressive with trying to score touchdowns in this game and not leave it up to a new kicker? And Nate Taylor mentioned this point. If the Schrader kid misses a kick early in the game, do they give him another opportunity? If he misses an extra point in this game, do they give him another opportunity? Just because you were the Chiefs kicker this week does not mean you will be the Chiefs kicker next week. You remember the last time Harrison Butker was injured, and Rob, they had multiple people kick for this team. So maybe Schrader comes in here, and this is not an issue. You do not notice a difference, and Schrader goes out there, and he is incredible. This is as important of an audition that you could potentially have. There is no scenario in which this kid is the full-time kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Harrison Butker is their kicker. They just gave him a raise. He is going to be their kicker for the next 2 or 3 seasons. But if you're Schrader and you perform really well in these next few weeks, this is the difference in you being in the NFL next season and not being in the NFL. This is the difference in you making $500,000 next year or you having a regular 9 to 5. So you want to talk about the pressure. And this is not Arizona like you kicked last week where you made 2 field goals and had a couple of extra points and your team got beat 31-6. This team is going to need to kick an important field goal at some point in Sunday's game. Do they make it? Do they miss it? Are they aggressive? Do they give him the opportunity? I think that's one of the big storylines from this game. Rob, there's a lot to get into. We'll play some audio for you guys. If you missed anything, check out the podcast page. We had Steve Tasker on the show earlier. We had Trent McDuffie on the show earlier. Danny was on the show earlier this week. So if you've missed anything, be sure to check out the podcast page. All right, Rob, let's get through the hits here, and we'll bounce back and forth between, Sunday's game.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Carrington, as always, the hits are brought to you by Baker University, where graduates earn higher salaries and land jobs faster than any other university in Kansas. Apply today at bakeru.edu.
Shout out to Baker University.
Shout out to Baker University. Carrington, we talked about this earlier on the show with Nate Taylor, looking at this massive matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. It is, the 8th time Allen and Mahomes have matched up, but considering it's basically a 3-game swing, if the Chiefs win, they can all but lock up the 1 seed. Is this game far more important to Buffalo than the hometown Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, absolutely. The Chiefs still have a lead if they lose this game. They just have lost the tiebreaker. You can still just play better than Buffalo down the stretch, and the tiebreaker doesn't even come to factor. So this game is certainly more important for Buffalo than it is for Kansas City. They're the home team. They're the favorite in this game. They're maybe the healthier team. You could certainly make an argument for either side, at least in that conversation. This game is certainly this game is more important for the challenger than it is for the challenger than the champion.
Number 2.
Carrington, you laid out the scenario earlier today. You can catch the entire scenario on the podcast page, but let's do it real quick here. What would you rather see happen as a Chiefs fan on Sunday? Would you rather the Chiefs be down 4 with the ball in their hands and 2+ minutes to go, or would you rather be up 4 but your defense takes the field trying to stop Josh Allen? Historically speaking, people would say Patrick Mahomes, but this defense.
You know what? Fade the music down and let's have this as a more prolonged discussion. So the scenario that we put out there earlier was it is 2 minutes left in the game. A touchback has just happened. The ball is at the 25-yard line. Do you feel more confident and comfortable with the defense taking the field and they are up 4 trying to preserve the lead, or the offense taking the field and they are down 4 trying to go down the field, score a touchdown to go win the game? I picked the defense for this reason. I think the defense has been the better of the two units for the last year and a half. I think the defense has been the more consistent of the two units. I think the defense has pulled the offense out of the fire far more frequently than we have seen the offense pull this team out of the fire. Neither side has been perfect, and I think you feel really good on both sides. If you're taking Mahomes, it's definitely not the wrong answer. If you're taking the defense and the lead, I don't think that's the wrong answer either. To me, this is much more of a confidence thing, and I would say it really goes to show you the evolution with the Chiefs. The fact that this is a conversation, the fact that this is a discussion, goes to show you how improved their defense has been over the last 18 months and where people's confidence and hope is in this team. That you've had scenarios where the offense has a turnover or something happens and the defense takes a field, gets a stop, gives the ball right back to the offense and gives them another opportunity. So, Rob, if you were asking me which one of those two I would take, give me the lead, and I trust that Kansas City's defense is not going to allow Buffalo to go down the field in 2 minutes and score a touchdown. I'll take the defense.
Can I play devil's advocate for a minute?
Yeah,
because it's not 1-for-1. It's not the exact situation. But didn't we see a similar situation play out last week with the Chiefs? They had a chance with the defense on the field to go win the football game. Hey, get Bo Nix and his 38-year-old body off the field. Now, I know Harrison Butker, who we now know has been dealing with a torn meniscus or a meniscus that needed some trimming, kicked the ball out of bounds, and they basically had 20 yards to defend.
Yeah,
but the Broncos got all the way to the, 15-yard line? It was a 34-yard field goal they were lining up. It wasn't like Will Lutz was blocked on a 58-yarder and the defense just gave up 2 first downs and bad luck happened. They gave up a little bit of a drive. They were not able to bow their neck and stop the Broncos. They also, in the Super Bowl, a similar moment, they were like, you had a chance to go win the game against the Niners. They went down the field and kicked a field goal. The Ravens, I know that he's out by a toenail, to quote Mitch Holthus, but they were up by 7, and they gave the ball to Lamar Jackson and co. with 2 minutes to go and a chance to win the game, and Lamar Jackson is a toenail away from tying or potentially taking the lead. The Bucs game, another scenario where defense up by 7, 2+ minutes to go. Hey, go win us a game, defense, and they came up short those times. I understand the defense is a top 5 unit, but under the pressure cooker of the scenario you created, I can point to times they failed to rise to the occasion in that moment.
This is where I think it's a little bit unfair, and I think it's skewed against the defense, because last week the Chiefs had an opportunity to make that a touchdown game, and their offense had the ball first and goal from the 5-yard line, and they kicked a 20-yard field goal last week too. So they have had opportunities to kind of put the nail in the coffin and not put the defense in that scenario. I mean, just think about a 30-second stretch there. The Chiefs kick a 20-yard field goal, and then the Chiefs put the ball on the 40-yard line on the other side. So a lot of times I think the offense has put the defense in a couple of bad spots. We can kind of find examples on both of these. I just think it's a very interesting question because the fact that I think people would now consider taking the defense really goes to show you how this defense has evolved and where your confidence level lies. If you were telling me you have as much confidence in the Chiefs defense to help you win as Patrick Mahomes to help you win, it goes to show you that the Chiefs defense has not just evolved to the point where they are good and you trust them. In my opinion, they're the best defense in the National Football League.
That's fair. I agree with that. I am cherry picking the Broncos game, but there were other moments. The Bucs game 2 weeks ago, they had Baker Mayfield with no weapon. Baker Mayfield he
didn't have any weapons.
He had me, you, and Nate Taylor running routes for him. There was people I didn't even know were in the NFL. Hey, shout out to Trey Palmer. Congrats on making the league, buddy. No idea. And they went right down the field. And if Todd Bowles knew how to coach a football game, they may have actually won that game. And then the offense with a win or go home, score a touchdown, and you win scenario. Now there's no clock. Went down the field and got 7 to win the game. They have folded at least, let's call it 1.5 times the last times they've seen this scenario.
Number 3.
Carrington, in a matchup of this magnitude, it's more than just the stars that need to be stars. The analogy this show loves to use is a basketball one. Who's going to be that role player, that sixth man, that guy to step up and make a play when needed? I'm not talking about Mahomes. I'm not talking about Allen or Kelsey or those types. Carrington, tell me your X-Factor players for the Chiefs and Bills on Sunday.
You know what? I am going to take Xavier Worthy to be that player that we're talking about. Now, I know that he is in a little bit of a lull with this team. I get that. But if you go back to the last game, and you mentioned it, Rob, the last time that these two teams played each other, MVS had 2 catches for 62 yards. He was a nice X factor in the game. I think they're going to need one of those kind of players. And I would say for maybe the first time this season, they are going to use Xavier Worthy in the role that he was supposed to be. Nate Taylor believes that Juju is going to be back. So you were telling me that they are going to have Xavier Worthy be their 4th or 5th offensive option because obviously he's behind Kareem Hunt, who's going to get 15 to 20 touches in this game. You're behind DeAndre Hopkins. You're behind Travis Kelce. Juju was coming back. So now he gets to be a role player for the first time, and you're not expecting him to get 7 targets in a game. I love that spot for Xavier Worthy. I've made the analogy to a baseball player. I am not worried about his batting average. How many home runs do you hit? This feels like a game in which he could hit a home run. They have been so close the last couple of weeks. He should have had a big pass play in the Buccaneers game, but he stepped out of bounds. It was Patrick Mahomes' fault that he didn't have a big pass completion last week where he was down the field wide open. If Patrick at least puts the ball in play, I think Xavier Worthy scores a touchdown, and they can put that game out of reach. They've missed a couple of those connections. I'm going to trust in this game that they do a little bit better, that he's going to make do on a couple of those shots that he's going to have. So if you're asking me to pick out of their secondary wide receivers, so not D-Hop, not Kelsey, not Juju, who is in line to get 40 yards? You know what? I'm going to take a flyer on Xavier Worthy to be an X factor. I also like McCole Hardman. He is really locked in on what his role is, so I could see in a game like this, we're going to go with the guys that we know and the guys that have had success in these kind of games. So we're going to give McCole Hardman his 3 to 5 kind of screening plays, gadget plays, end-around plays, the plays that I think could go to Xavier Worthy. And we also know that he's going to be there for them in special teams. So I think that kind of gadget player could be really useful in this game. Give me Xavier Worthy 1. I'll take McCole Hardman 2.
I like Noah Gray. And I know you and Nate Taylor are on the same page with Xavier Worthy. And I get it. And Nate Taylor basically was explaining that this is kind of is it the circle of trust game, yes or no? But, man, it just seems like when in doubt, Mahomes trusts his guys. That's Hopkins. That's Kelsey. Weirdly, that's Justin Watson. It doesn't feel like if you're on the periphery of the circle of trust, for a big word, that he goes to you. So unless Andy Reid's able to scheme up Xavier Worthy, I don't think it's him. I think it's going to be a guy Patrick Mahomes trusts. And Noah Gray has become that guy. Noah Gray has become a chain mover when you need. There's going to be a big 3rd and 9 on Sunday. There is. That's just how the football world works. And you know what? The Bills are going to make sure Hopkins and Kelsey don't beat them on that play. You know who I think is going to make a play? Noah Gray. And if you want to tell me, hey, it's semantics, that's not what X Factor is, a guy who just makes a play, fine. But I think when we talk about the game on Monday, if the Chiefs win, We're not talking about Noah Gray going off, but we are talking about Noah Gray made a couple chain-moving plays that changed the game and kept the Bills' defense on the field on back-breaking third downs. That's why I believe Noah Gray is the guy.
I want to play a couple pieces of audio for you guys because this is the thought that I have been having over the past 2 days. So I told you guys yesterday what my two keys were to this game. For the Chiefs, it's just simply do your formula. In their last handful of wins, they have had a clear formula. It is give the ball to Kareem Hunt, find Travis Kelce over the middle of the field, trust DeAndre Hopkins, play good defense. Patrick, don't turn the football over. They have been excellent with that formula. So go to Buffalo and be the Kansas City Chiefs. That's what you did last season when you won in Buffalo. Replicate that formula. I think you win. For Buffalo, you are going to have a chance to get the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not saying the Chiefs will win or lose this game, but I'm saying is we have watched enough games to know that other teams have had Kansas City on the ropes and they have been unable to land the knockout blow. Buffalo is going to have an opportunity in this game late in the fourth quarter. It's going to be 17-14, and Josh Allen has the football. It's going to be 21-21 heading into the fourth quarter. Buffalo has the ball, or they got to get a stop. Buffalo is going to have a chance. The Chiefs just play all of these games close, but the Chiefs usually out-execute you down the stretch. So we looked this up. The last 4 times that these two teams have played each other, Kansas City has scored 106 points. Buffalo has scored 104 points. These two teams are very, very even in a lot of ways. These two teams are built very similar right now. Quarterback does a lot. You can run the football effectively. These two organizations have invested heavily in tight ends. A little bit left to be desired on the outside when talking about the wide receivers. 2 good defenses, 2 great coaches. These two teams are a mirror image of each other in a lot of different ways. What has separated these two teams and why Kansas City is 3-0 against this team in the postseason is Kansas City very rarely makes the critical mistake that does them in. They usually force you to make the critical mistake, and when you give the Chiefs just a little bit, they beat you. But in these regular season games, it's been Kansas City that's made a critical mistake. Last year, Kansas City was going to beat Buffalo in the regular season. The only reason why they had to go on the road last year in the postseason was because of this.
Selling out, flag on the play, might be a free one. They've got Kelce at the 30, Kelce 25, angling back, 20, now he's gonna lateral it back at the 15-yard line, it's Tony, 10, 5, touchdown, Kansas City. They mess around in practice with this all the time. It's gonna go with a 49-yard touchdown. Kelce, the old University of Cincinnati quarterback.
Number 19, offense, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Check it out.
My number one question for both teams, who can avoid the mistake? And usually the team that has made that mistake in the final 5 minutes of the game, they've been the one that lost. Whether it was Kansas City going down the field in 13 seconds and kicking the field goal near the end of regulation to send it to overtime, whether it was Kadarius Toney, who was offsides in the last regular season matchup, whether it was Buffalo's final offensive drive the last time that these two teams played each other, where Diggs misses a big pass play down the field, Buffalo overcomes that to go down the field. They had 1st and 10 from the Kansas City 27-yard line. They got 1 more yard after that, and then they kicked the field goal. It didn't go well.
1:47 to go in the game on 4th down and 9 for Buffalo. Placement down, Bass's kick is up, and the kick is no good! A little prophecy! Tyler Bass has struggled, and he just misses the kick.
Kansas City will next snap with a 34-yard.
And the Chiefs will take over at the point of the missed kick. Their own 34-yard line as Tyler Bass misses this wide to the right.
Who's going to avoid the mistake in this game? I don't have to tell you that this game is going to be close. It is going to be very close. That's all the Chiefs know is close games. The Chiefs have been the team that have been able to avoid the mistake, and they've also been the team that has forced you to make the mistake. The Chiefs did not get lucky last week. The Chiefs schemed, saw something on film, and they exploited it at the end of the game to go win. That is what great teams do. Great teams figure out what your weakness is, and they take advantage of that weakness to beat you later in the game. This is the #1 rivalry in the National Football League. We'll talk more about it coming up after the break, but there are so many similarities, I think, between Josh Allen's career and early Peyton Manning. Josh Allen is an incredible quarterback. For my money, he is the second best quarterback in the league, but there is a pretty wide gap between where Patrick Mahomes is and where Josh Allen is. That is not based off how we feel about these quarterbacks in the regular season. It is, we have seen Patrick Mahomes time and time again be able to overcome and prevail in the postseason and win, and that is not where Josh Allen is right now. Now, this one win is not going to change that conversation, but it gives Buffalo another chance to host the AFC Championship game or the second round against Kansas City and give yourself a slight advantage in that way. Is Buffalo going to take advantage of that? Vegas believes that Buffalo is the better team. I think you can argue either side here. You can argue Buffalo. You can argue Kansas City. These are two very evenly matched teams. Who is going to stick to their formula? Who's going to run the football effectively? Who is going to avoid the mistake? Who's going to win the turnover margin and differential? That is going to be the difference in who wins this game. Coming up on the other side, Rob, let's talk a little bit more about the quarterback matchup between these two teams and where we sit with those two guys in the pecking order. That's coming up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Let me tell you guys about one of my guilty pleasures during the football season. It's eating some chips, having some wings, a little veggies, and having your favorite dips while you're watching football. And I got a new dip to tell you guys about. Daisy Sour Cream has come out with the French onion and ranch dip. It's a game changer. These are as good as any homemade dip that you could try. Real herbs, real spices, and ingredients that you'd only find in your kitchen. I highly suggest the French dip or the creamy ranch dip. That's perfect for any game day watch party.
The election is finally over. Now you can get the cash you need. Imagine what you could do with $50,000. Pay off credit cards, do home improvements, or even pay off auto loans. Golden Oak's mortgage rate is 5.25%. There's no out-of-pocket costs, so call today and make no payments until next year. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
6.19 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
The NBA is back, and FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, wants you to catch all the action. Because right now, FanDuel is giving all users 3 months of NBA League Pass. All you have to do to catch every tip-off and buzzer beater is place any $5 bet on the NBA. I'm really excited to see if the Knicks can back up what they did a season ago. And even the MVP market, where Luka's the favorite at plus 330. If you're new to FanDuel, just visit FanDuel.com/Alex to get 3 months of NBA League Pass courtesy of FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. After a 3-month free trial, the full price of League Pass will automatically be charged monthly. Cancel anytime. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 pass per customer. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering an online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
The holidays are a magical time to get engaged. At Shane Company, we're here to help you create your dream engagement ring in just 3 easy steps. Choose a setting that speaks to your style. Compare diamonds and colorful gemstones in all shapes and sizes. Then personalize it with a decorative crown and special engraving. Or choose a perfectly preset ring that's ready to go. At Shane Company, you'll find everyday competitive prices, a no-pressure environment, and an unmatched free lifetime warranty. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Have you or a loved one been diagnosed with cancer? You want the most knowledgeable physicians with the latest technology. That's KCPI, the Kansas City Proton Institute. KCPI has a full suite of the most advanced imaging and treatment technology necessary to localize high-intensity proton beams. That's a critical part of maximizing cure rates while minimizing recovery time and long-term side effects. Proton therapy provides patients with the most advanced form of radiation treatments for cancer. It destroys cancer cells with supreme extreme accuracy, reducing the risk of harmful side effects. KCPI has Kansas City's first and only system that uses pencil beam technology, resulting in precision targeting and less radiation to your surrounding healthy tissue. Proton therapy is now available in the comfort of an office at KCPI, making it more efficient and affordable than a hospital. So contact KCPI for the most knowledgeable physicians with the latest technology. Don't wait. Get precision technology with the highest safety measures with KCPI. Online at kcpi.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of another year counting down. Another year missing your revenue goal. Another year wondering why your marketing isn't more effective. Another year worried about next year. The clock is ticking, but you still have time. Time to contact the experts at Scale Marketing. Scale Marketing is a full-service marketing agency who is expert in lead generation and revenue growth. How expert? Our clients see an average of 20% growth in the first year alone, with sustained growth from there. It's all part of our process. From your traditional marketing to social media to paid search, we'll take a forensic approach, digging deep to find the root problems in your marketing strategy. Then we'll fix them fast. At Scale Marketing, we can't stop the clock, but we can change your company's future. Find out how you can make your marketing budget work harder and drive more revenue. Contact us at scalemarketing.com. That's scalemarketing.com.
Join 96.5 The Fan and Bud Light for the Fans Football Show with Mitchell Schwartz or Sean Barber and Jay Binkley every Friday this football season starting at 6 at participating Buffalo Wild Wings locations. Enjoy $5 talls, prizes, and Chiefs gear. For a list of locations, go to 965thefan.com. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Traffic is brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Looking heavy into downtown via northbound 35 and brake lights in Grandview southbound 49, starting at about Truman and going through the Jackson County line. Want more from your dealership? At Metro Ford, every new vehicle comes with a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. Family owned, just 10 minutes from downtown and packed with unbeatable value. Drive smarter only at Metro Ford. Online at kcmetroford.com. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Chiefs fans, it's Trent McDuffie. Welcome to The Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
If you guys want another sign that you are old, Carmelo Anthony's kid today committed to go play basketball at Syracuse. I remember when Carmelo Anthony was at Syracuse. I feel like I can't remember. Didn't they make it? They won the championship, right? Who'd they play, Rob, in the championship? I can't remember who they played. I know Carmelo had it was an exciting freshman year. They played Texas, I think, in the national. I can't remember who they played.
They beat Kansas.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. That's
not fair. The free throw line beat Kansas that day.
Oh, okay.
The free throw line was really just stifling the Jayhawks offense.
To be fair, though, the free throw line took one championship away from you. It also gave you another championship. See the way that things even out? Ball don't lie. You guys won a championship in 08 because of the free throw line. Funny how that works. I do want to talk about Josh Allen. I want to play something for you, though, before we do that. So we had Nate Taylor on the show earlier. Nate has been at the forefront of this thing. He really has been at the forefront of this. He said that he believes that Donovan Smith is on standby, just waiting to be tagged in. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. So we had Nate Taylor on the show earlier, and I asked him, if Wanya Morris is out with an ankle injury after the first quarter of the game, what are the Chiefs going to do at left tackle? Listen to what Nate said.
They will move Joe Thuney to left tackle. And then the question becomes, is Mike Caliendo, who has limited experience and is a veteran, but he's no Nick Allegretti. Can Caliendo be serviceable at the left guard spot?
So that was Nate Taylor earlier today. Now, I do not think that it is a surprise that the game this season that the Chiefs scored the fewest amount of points, they didn't have their normal starting left tackle. And they also ran the ball as poorly as they have all season. The Chiefs called 16 run plays on Sunday. They ran for 38 yards. It was the least effective Kareem Hunt we have seen, at least running the ball. He was their leading receiver, but they couldn't really get the run game going. Rob, you and I both believe that a key to this game on both sides, Kareem Hunt and James Cook, also Josh Allen, because he's so critical with everything they do in the run game. That's interesting to me, that if that happens, and knock on wood, you hope that it doesn't happen, but right now their backup left tackle is not Kingsley Suamataia. It sounds to me like the Chiefs have removed Kingsley from the Chiefs' circle of trust. It seems to me like they have voted Kingsley off the island. If that's where you are, then I just don't know why you haven't made the phone call to Donovan Smith. If you don't trust Kingsley enough to go in case of an injury, then he is not your backup left tackle. Then you need to go make a move. You need to put yourself in a position that you have that player. I will continue to bang this drum. Go get Donovan Smith. It makes the most sense. It is not a great option. We're talking about we are heading into Thanksgiving and you're trying to find your left tackle. But I think it could be the best decision that you could make in a pinch if something happens. You just got to protect yourself from attrition. I shouldn't have to tell the Chiefs the value of feeling secure at backup left tackle or right tackle. So I continue hope that they go out and they get Donovan Smith. Let's talk a little bit about Josh Allen. Josh Allen's story to me is not really that much different than so many other superstars. His story's not that much different than early Michael Jordan. His story's not that different than Steph Curry, not that different than Kevin Durant, not that different than Steve Young. Like, we can find a lot of players that they had to bump their head on a ceiling a couple of times and eventually they had to break through. We were talking about Josh Allen earlier, and a couple of people made the point that they think that Josh Allen is going to be Phillip Rivers. And that is perfectly fine if you feel that way about Josh Allen. He's not going to win a ring. He's not going to win a championship. He's going to put up a lot of numbers, and they're not going to lead anywhere. You're perfectly within your right to feel that way. This would be my question if that's how you feel about Josh Allen. Who's the Drew Brees of his generation then? Who's the Ben Roethlisberger of this generation? Who's the Eli Manning for this generation? Who's the Russell Wilson for this generation? We have established who the Tom Brady is. Tom Brady is your quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. But there were other superstar quarterbacks during that time frame that eventually could break through. I don't know when Josh Allen breaks through. Could be this year, could be next year, could be 3 years from now. I don't know. But I do know that Josh Allen is talented enough that I do think at some point they get to the Super Bowl, and at some point I think he wins a Super Bowl. And this is basically the path that Peyton Manning had. Peyton Manning lost his first 6 games against the New England Patriots. You want to know the first time that he beat Tom Brady? It was in the AFC Championship game to go to the Super Bowl. So I think at some point Josh Allen's going to break through. He just does so many different things. He's one of the best passers in the league. He's one of the best short yardage backs in the league. He has really done a good job in kind of limiting some of the turnovers. He only has 4 interceptions this year, only has 2 lost fumbles. He has been better at protecting the football, and I think they're starting to build their team a little bit differently to give him a little bit more support and kind of help him grow. This is a really important game for him because the worst thing that could happen to the NFL, this is the absolute worst thing that could happen, is you start to let the Chiefs coast the final month of the season and really start to get guys healthy. You are not catching Kansas City if that's the case. If you're telling me that the final 3-4 games of the season, that the Chiefs basically have everything wrapped, and right now their number one focus is just making sure that everybody gets to the finish line, you can really start to get conservative with Travis Kelce, get conservative with DeAndre Hopkins, where you are simply playing out the string to get guys ready for the postseason. You are not beating Kansas City if that's the case. You do not have a chance. We saw what happened last year. When you gave Travis Kelce 1 week off last year, he turned into a superhero for the final 4 games of the season. That is the worst thing that you can do. So that's why I talk about this game and how important it is in the standings. This is the difference in Kansas City being able to lap the field or really be in a fight down the stretch. Because you would then be in a fight with Buffalo. They would have the tiebreaker against you. You would be in a fight against Pittsburgh. You go on the road and play Pittsburgh on Christmas Day. This is the most important regular season game from a standing standpoint that Patrick Mahomes has ever played. This is the difference in you being able to coast in the final 3 games of the season because you have so much of a lead and you cannot be passed or this is the difference of this is going to be a legitimate race if the Chiefs lose on Sunday to the Buffalo Bills. So we obviously will see what will happen, but I cannot stress enough how important this one individual game is for each one of these teams and what it could mean for the second half of the season. So maybe you guys heard this yesterday. I want to play it again because the audio is it is some of the most incredible pieces of audio that I've heard so far this year. Later today, many of you are going to watch it. Mike Tyson is going to fight Jake Paul on Netflix. And boy, let me tell you, they have been selling that fight. I don't know whose idea it was for the fake stage slap that they did yesterday, but I'm telling you, they knew that was going to get everywhere. That thing was on Good Morning America. It was on the Today Show. Every television show in the country was showing the slap between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. It was incredible marketing. It did more than anything, those two individuals. This fight is wrapped around one concept. Does Mike Tyson have enough magic in his gloves to land one clean, great shot against Jake Paul? Nobody wants Jake Paul to win. You want to see Mike win, but it is a real interesting debate. Are you going to take the inexperienced under 30-year-old? Are you going to take the very experienced former power puncher in Mike Tyson? This fight is really interesting. Is this one of the greatest? Is this Mayweather Pacquiao? No. Is this Hearns and Hagler? Is this Ali and Frazier? No. You know what this is? A television show on Netflix. This is House of Cards. This is Orange is the New Black. This is Ozark. So I don't care who wins. I don't care who loses this fight. You know what I want to do? I want to sit down in front of the television and be entertained. And this individual, he's entertaining.
Well, in your return to the ring for this fight, you are setting a monumental opportunity for kids my age to see the legend Mike Tyson in the ring for the first time. So after such a successful career, what type of legacy would you like to leave behind when it's all said and done?
Well, I don't know. I don't believe in the word legacy. I just think that's another word for ego. Legacy doesn't mean nothing. That's just some word everybody grabbed onto. Someone said that word and everyone grabbed on the word, so now it's used every 5 seconds. It means absolutely nothing to me. I'm just passing through. I'm going to die, and it's going to be over. Who cares about legacy after that? What a big ego. So I'm going to die. I want people to think that I'm this, I'm great. No, we're nothing. We're just dead. We're dust. We're absolutely nothing. Our legacy is nothing.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that.
She didn't know how to respond. She had absolutely no clue how to respond to that. I would have been in that same place, too. That was Mike Tyson joining us on the show to promote the fight on Netflix. Be sure to check it out. She handled that situation like a seasoned veteran. I did take Jake Paul tonight. I bet on him to win on the scorecards. It was plus 260. Mike Tyson's not winning this fight. Let's get back to Chiefs and Bills next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
The NFL continues on, and there's no better place to get in on the action than with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Let's get ready for maybe the biggest matchup this season in the NFL, and you can do so and get started with $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. All right, let's create a same-game parlay for Chiefs and Bills. I'm going to take the Chiefs as an underdog because the Chiefs are 11-3 straight up in Patrick Mahomes' career when they are a dog. I'm going to take Mahomes to throw for 2 touchdown passes in this game. I'm also going to take an anytime touchdown for Kareem Hunt. If you want to use that same game parlay or maybe build your own for Chiefs and Bills, you can do so. All you need to do is visit FanDuel.com/CDOT to make every moment more this season. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Can help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Okay, everyone, what did you think of the chocolate bar?
It's too chewy.
Feels kind of chalky.
Too much nougat.
I need to go brush my teeth.
Business is booming for Steph's small marketing research firm.
After all these focus groups, there's only one conclusion. I need more researchers.
And she's way too busy researching.
Does this have peanuts?
To waste time researching resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey folks, I've got a couple of important questions for you.
Do you know how much money you need to retire? Do you have a plan in place for your loved ones? If your answer is no, it's time to get your financial planning on track with UMB Private Wealth. It's never too late to start. Plus, their team supports you at every step of the planning process. Go to umb.com/privatewealth to schedule your appointment. That's umb.com/privatewealth. Why not start today?
Men, it's the holidays, the season of all kinds of hustle and bustle. But if your energy is down, if you aren't sleeping well, if your sex drive is MIA, and you just don't feel like the guy you once were, maybe it's tough to get excited for all the holiday cheer. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if this sounds like you may have low testosterone. And if so, this is the season for you to get treated. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating low T. If you're like most guys, you'll feel the change in just a few weeks. And truly, the results can be life-changing. You'll have improved mental clarity, your energy will kick up, your workouts will be better, your sleep patterns will improve, and your sex drive will likely heat up as well. So call us and don't go through another season with low T. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000. Or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com. And I look forward to working with you.
Brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Sean Barber. You know there's nothing easier than to enjoy watching the Chiefs with some wings and an ice-cold Bud Light. Join me at Buffalo Wild Wings off 152 and North Flintlock Road in KC Mo, Friday, November 15th. I'll be there from 6 to 8 p.m. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
It's a Red Friday on 96.5 The Fan and the other place, especially with these great game day specials. 8 wings and a basket of tots for $12 plus $4 domestic OP cups. The other place, the next best thing to being at the game.
Tune in this week to kick off with Boomer and Valenti to hear the Sims Spotlight featuring Super Bowl winning quarterback Phil Simms. Brought to you by Balance of Nature. Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
Chiefs coverage is brought to you by Comfort Systems Heating and Cooling, serving all of KC.
At Comfort Systems Heating and Cooling, we turn icy cold rooms into toasty retreats. Comfort Systems is your winter rescue team. Comforting people is what we do. Comfort Systems is right for you. MyComfortSystems.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Mostly a quiet afternoon traffic-wise. No collisions to report. There are some slowdowns through Grandview southbound 49, starting at about East 135th Street, easing up by the time you get to East 155th. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 96.5 The Fan.
For the final segment of the show, we usually would go through the other games. I don't want to talk to you guys about the other games because you don't care about the other games. You only care about your Chiefs, and that makes sense. They are in the biggest game this week in the National Football League. We had on Steve Tasker. He is the Danon Hughes of the Bills Radio Network. He is in the Bills Hall of Fame. He is a legend out there. We had him on the show earlier today. We started our interview with him asking, how is Buffalo different than the last time that these two teams played one another?
Well, at the beginning of this year, after the playoffs ended last year, there was only one guy left on the roster that had ever caught a pass from Josh Allen in a game. That's Khalil Shakir. Now they do have Dalton Kincaid, who's probably going to be out this game. They made the trade for Amari Cooper, which is a lot like the DeAndre Hopkins trade for the Kansas City Chiefs, although they have not been able to get him on the field because of an injury. All of that stuff is in the mix. Both these clubs have different faces around these two quarterbacks, but the two constants are Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen, and really everything builds off of their abilities. And even on the other side of the ball, the defenses, take their cue from what these quarterbacks do. I think this is a game between the two quarterbacks and whichever defense can make a play. I mean, I don't even know if it comes down to whether you can stop the run or sack the quarterback. It's about a play in the right moment. You just know both these offenses are going to make enough plays to keep it close. And if it does come down to a play on the defensive side, it's going to be a splash play, a tipped interception or a sack or a turnover. It's just going to be one of those games. This rivalry is about the two guys taking snaps, and everybody else fills in around them. And I think the skill position for both these clubs and the differences that are present this year rather than last year is a testament to that.
I know you guys haven't got a chance to see a whole lot of Amari Cooper. He played in the first game. He had 4 catches for 66 yards and scored a touchdown, and then he had an injury. Where does he stand for Sunday's game? What can you expect from Amari Cooper on Sunday?
I think he's a game-time decision. He's been questionable all week. He's been limited in practice. It's a wrist injury, so it does affect him catching the ball. And one of the criticisms he's gotten, in fact, people were kind of nervously chuckling that the first target he got as a Bill, he dropped right in his chest. And with a wrist injury, which is what this is, it kind of makes how effective can he be? They have missed his presence out there, and certainly the absence of Keon Coleman is a huge loss for this club. Coleman was really beginning to ascend as a weapon in this offense, and now with the wrist injury to him as well, his presence has really been missed. So with Khalil Shakir, Dawson Knox, James Cook, Ray Davis, the two running backs, that's kind of changed the personality of this offense. Now, having said that, in the last couple of weeks, with those guys at those spots, their third down conversion rate has skyrocketed from where it was early in the year. They have been very good on third down in years past. This year, not so much. But now they're starting to find it, and they're starting to become more Chiefs-like in their ability to stay on the field, and that has helped.
Right now, we're talking to Steve Tasker, who covers the Buffalo Bills. Let's keep it with the injury theme. No Dalton Kincaid in this game. I really like Kincaid. He's proven to be one of the better young tight ends in the league. What does it mean for Buffalo to not have him? And is this injury maybe softened by the fact that you do have a capable backup tight end in Dawson Knox, who has really matched up well against Kansas City?
Yeah, I think it more than the production. Certainly Dawson Knox can play extremely well and sign an extension, and they love having him out there. I think more than anything else, it will affect the personnel packages that the Bills want to use in this game. Without Dalton Kincaid, you're not going to go as much two tight end. You're not going to go like that. So, and without Cooper or Coleman, it kind of curtails your ability to go 3 wide. So that's really the question. What personnel grouping are the Bills going to lean on the most, even when they throw the football as well as run it? That's the question. I don't know that there's going to be an answer until the game's over, or at least that it's begun.
Steve, from a defensive perspective, how do you feel Buffalo lines up against Kansas City? In the 7 games that these two teams have played against each other, Buffalo is giving up 27.1 points per game. This is one of the better defenses in the league, but I feel like they usually have a tough time stopping Kansas City in these matchups.
Yeah, I'll say the thing about the Bills' defense, that early on in this rivalry, Leslie Frazier was the defensive coordinator, and the Bills' defense was very solid, very hard to move the football on. They were top 3 or 4 in the league in the rankings of all the yardage, yards per play, yards passing, yards rushing. But they were never spectacular under Leslie Frazier. They never made splash plays, got the big sack, got the big turnover. Then when Sean McDermott took over last year, that started to be the case. And now with Bob Babich as their defensive coordinator, that has continued to be the case. They're getting a little healthier up front. They got some help from Quentin Jefferson and Jordan Phillips being signed back onto the squad. That gives them some big bodies down inside. Dwayne Carter has gotten injured, the rookie, and he has not been able to play. But Daquan Jones is still there. Ed Oliver is still there. And this defense has been a really good defense at churning turnovers. That has been the real hallmark of this club. Their secondary has played really well. and really sniffed out some balls that really you didn't think they would. Been unexpectedly a really good playmaking defense. So while their rankings and stats haven't been spectacular, they are a big part of why Buffalo is tied for the league lead in turnover differential.
Steve, you mentioned that this game has a playoff feel and a playoff atmosphere. I don't know if it's really possible to have a regular season game that has more importance than this one. We're talking about if Kansas City wins this game, they will have a 4-game advantage over Buffalo. If the Chiefs lose this game, they will have a 1-game advantage. Like, I don't know if you see too many regular season games, certainly not at this point in the season, that have that much bearing on who could potentially host the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, it's big. Certainly both these teams have run off and left their division rivals. The division, the AFC East, is certainly not going to be won by anybody but the Buffalo Bills this year. Of course, the West is exact same for Kansas City. This is all about the seed, the playoff seeding. And you know, in a perfect world for both clubs, which of them are going to host the AFC Championship game against the other? That's really what this game is about. I think Bills fans up here are probably a little bit relieved that the Chiefs blocked that field goal last week against the Broncos. You don't really want to catch the Chiefs coming off a loss like that. The added pressure of kind of trying to, even though they'll say, well, it's just an extra thing going undefeated, that's still out there, and it adds a little bit of something to the Chiefs' plate that they got to think about while they're going through all of this. Certainly going for their third straight Super Bowl is out there for them. So I think the Bills are really, you're right, this game is big. And like I said earlier, I think most people out there think this is the last best chance for somebody to really beat the Chiefs. They've got a good schedule going forward. There's a couple of teams that might be a bump in the road, but once they get past this game, there's no question. It's just everybody's just watching the hourglass tick until the playoffs can start, and everybody has to go through Kansas City to get to the Super Bowl.
Steve, last question here. Give me a Chiefs key to victory. Give me a Bills key to victory in your mind.
Well, Chiefs' key to victory is obviously being efficient on their drive. They got to finish drives with touchdowns. They can't settle for field goals here in Buffalo, particularly with a new field goal kicker who's a question mark. Punch it in the end zone. They've been very good on third down, and that's going to be the key. Just remain good on third down, stay on the field, and finish drives. And for Buffalo, I think defensively they've got to find a way to get their hands on the ball defensively and give Buffalo a couple of extra possessions. If they can do that, that'll give Josh Allen and a depleted skill group a chance to keep up with this Chiefs offense. But either way it goes, I still think this is coming down to the final possession.
Looking forward to a great Sunday. Take care of yourself. I'll catch you guys on Monday. I'll let Daniel Craig take you home.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.